Trust me. Gay is in. Gay is hot. I want some gay. Gay it's gonna be. Trust me.
And it's gonna be me. So I guess I'm here today, everybody. And back without further ado, we're having part 3. So this is, I guess, get to know your streamer as well as get to know your second gen and find out the comparisons between the two. So as you have all requested, I will introduce the one, the only, the rock star. And, you know, who knows what we're going to pop into. See, now you just need the drums behind it.
Oh, I have them in my head. Selfless is there. The violins, they're all in there, Liz. That is not the motherfucking issue. It's about getting it in my head, out of my head.
And getting it on paper.
Getting it on the paper.
That's right. Getting it on the paper.
Oh. Hi, Liz.
So how was your day?
Oh, what a childhood. How was my day? Welcome. Oh, what a childhood part 3, Liz. we call this baby steps. Part 1 didn't work out. Okay, part 2, little messy. All right, here's part 3.
Well,
yeah,
part 2 was still great.
Yeah, I loved part 2.
I
think we've traded off clothes again because last time you wore this and last time I wore that. So we're just trading off clothes, just much smaller sizes.
No, we look like the same size, really. I mean, these days I could just go like this and look, I'm bigger than you all of a sudden. We're all the same size. We're all the same people, aren't we?
No, we're all different, and that's what makes it beautiful.
So I got off work and I was like, I don't care. I'm going to keep my word. I'm going to do my thing with, and I don't know if you get this, but every time we are about to do these just talk about childhood, and I know it's going in this direction, I get a little like anxiety.
Yeah.
Even though I'm like, it's Liz, and it's not with Liz. It's not with you. It's, here we go. I'm deciding to do this with you, Liz. And I'm like, and
we're going to,
for some reason it gives anxiety, even if we're just talking about one subject, about childhood. It's still the subject. Oh, what a childhood gives me anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and the hard part is like hearing the different sides of our childhoods that could have been either you or me in any decision in any different situation. And then it's like, but we survived it. But man, we need therapy because we survived it.
Yeah, and not only that, like, therapy has its own thing, right? You say, man, we need therapy, but I, again, consider things like this for me, therapy. Talking to you with an audience that is understanding what we've been going through and is like seeing us from when we first started talking about this. And we're like, oh, hello. Oh, no, is my... okay, hold on. Let me make sure my microphone's working.
Yeah.
Wait, chat. Tell me, is it muted? Chat. Are you kidding? Like for 4 minutes, I think and I leave it all up because I remember feeling uncomfortable and going through all these phases of like, I needed to feel, I need people to see it from the beginning. My first episode was beginning. This is the beginning. And like, and I was like, hello. And I was like, oh, I don't know if it's working. Oh, it's not working. Okay, let me see. Oh, it's chat. Oh, the chat's telling me. Oh, wow, the chat's telling me it's not. Like, anyway, so all the way up to now, just when you're like, how was your day? I'm like, I had a busy fucking day at work, but I was like, boom, boom, boom. It's like, oh, good. I have tomorrow off the next day. So I feel, and I was like, good. I have my Liz tonight. I literally was like, I have my Liz tonight. And we can talk about shit. And even, you know, I noticed on the last stream part 2 that I was very focused on, even though that little dancer, don't forget that I blocked your name and I did not forget your name, dancer, because I was like, how could somebody with the title dancer be so rude? Lara, we're trying to hear Liz Ferris story or something. Anyways, I was like, get out of here, fucker. You just like, get out of here. What a like, ruiner of mine and Liz's whole purpose of doing this. Like, it's so annoying. Like, we're not
like,
we're supposed to be able to interrupt. Exactly. Like, we're allowed to interrupt each other. This is me and Liz. Fuck off. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. So you're like, how was your day? I'm like, I just had this long ass day. And then I couldn't get my stupid camera right now. Look, see, it's not even proper. I didn't even align everything. Sorry guys, I'm just messing up here. Let me put up this. When I put this up, that means I'm in session. I am officially
in session. Okay.
I'm in my stream. The curtain is up. Do not bug me. Look, I don't know if you can see here. I'll see. It's like, it's up. Do not come in my studio. So yeah, and I couldn't get the camera on for like 10 minutes. And I was just trying to be here for you, not on LST time. I know there was somebody in the chat making a comment about my LST time.
There's nothing wrong with Laura Standard Time.
Pulled the Laura DOA 808 at 8:08 p.m. exactly when I was losing my mind. LST time had to be his comment that he came in with. Okay, it's just a joke. I mean, we should pull it up. Just don't rush me. Anyway, so I figured it out. Thank you to Pearl Snappy. Oh, there you are, Laura of DOA. Good job. I'm glad you feel, I'm glad you're here with us.
Right? And I love Laura Standard Time because I'd rather be on your time because sometimes for me, I forget to just go with the moment. And I'm so structured that it's like, okay, the live is supposed to start in 10 seconds, 9 seconds. Let's go. And I tend to rush things. Sometimes it's nice just to catch your breath before, because you never honestly know what's going to happen during a live. Like, you never know what direction we're going to go.
Right before, Doctor Who Heather was like, I always go to Doctor Who. She's so great. Heather, you're so fucking awesome.
Right.
And I told Pearl Snappy, they said, go to Pearl Snappy. Thank you. And then I said, you know what? I just got off work. My chat knows me. Your chat knows me,
And if they don't know you, welcome everybody. This is Laura.
Yeah. And I was like, and I can put on lipstick in the middle of the chat without permission. Okay. Can I tell them? Can I show you guys a trick?
Absolutely.
I go like that with two different fingers. See how I have a little there? And this finger, I do it again. And I go inward so that it kind of blends it all in, And then guess what I do with those two fingers? This is the coolest trick ever. I don't know. Some people can pull it off, but I can. I take one finger and go like this, just right there. And then I take the other one and I go right here on the other, kind of like the edge of it. And then look at my eyes kind of pop more.
Nice. See, I learned to make up tricks. If I ever start wearing lipstick again, which I don't think I'll ever be able to do.
Okay, but look. And then if you really need to, you go halfway. So you got two in the middle and you just go like that. And so you got
a little bit of rouge.
Yeah, you got a little, see all that with just one. Now, where's my sponsor? Trace de Q. That's hilarious. It is called Trace de Q. Trey, I did my eyes, my cheeks, and my lips. 3. Wow. Just saying.
You need a sponsorship. I'm just telling you.
Right now, immediately, I basically just did the whole commercial.
Yeah, you just showed them everything. But if I start wearing makeup again, I'm telling you, I'm going to be like, no. I don't think I would look good.
I think you would look good with a little like light natural stuff. I don't know. It looks Carrie, don't you think she looks cute with like sexy lip gloss? Like just to make the lips like with her little lip ring there, certain things. You're getting your hair down. Your hair is looking really good. I don't know if Carrie's on top of that, but your hair looks like awesome. Like I know you are very particular. But that's how I feel certain times. And people are like, oh, she's so pretty. And then I haven't showered for 3 or 4 days.
Once it starts.
And it starts to get that. I'm like, good. Well, it looks kind of cool now.
Yeah, it's not like when we were kids when we only got like a 5-minute shower and before you got to see
where
someone
we
else
didn't
naked.
pay any attention to ourselves
No.
at all. In fact, it was egotistical or not. Like, I'm trying to I've switched words where I'm not using Scientology words anymore. It's not egotistical because Scientology didn't really use that. They used like, what would be egotistical? What's a Scientology word for egotistical? Not self-centered. They would use self-centered. They would use that, but they would mix it with Scientology lingo. They would say stuff like, what would be the word?
This is where Nora would be like perfect because she'd be like, oh, it aberrated, you know.
No. Hold on. Dang it. All right. It's not coming. Sorry. Banky. Hanky, banky. I think Selfless is trying to write banky. Something that would have been sort of similar to other fish or fry, but it's not coming.
Yeah.
It's not coming. So Liz, hi. We're so excited.
Hi.
We're doing this.
We're absolutely doing this. Whatever you want to do.
Well, I want to
path we're going to take.
Okay. Well, we just have to bring up one subject and then like 30 paths come our way, right?
Well, someone already asked their first question.
Okay. Should we get Liz? When did you realize you were gay?
When my swim instructor...
I laugh because some of my best friends that left the Sea Org and then were privately gay, like not trying. They were like, "Oh my God, it's not." So I had to hold the secret for like 10 years because they weren't even like. They wouldn't even say they were gay because they're like, oh my God, don't say that. But they knew that they were doing like homophobic things, right? So I do remember that as a Sea Org member, you couldn't even like admit, or not even as a Sea Org member, as somebody who left the Sea Org and somebody who left Scientology, but you just hadn't told anybody that you left. It was definitely not okay to even call yourself gay.
No,
like that is like, it was almost embarrassing because don't call me that. I'm my own thing. I came from Scientology. I'm not gay, but I do like the other sex. I do like the same sex.
I used to say I could admire beauty.
I can admire beauty in women. That's what you would say.
Yeah, I wasn't a practicing
Liz
gay.
was okay as long as she wasn't a practicing gay. So you knew you were aberrated, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I have a question along with that question just now, since we're going to dive right into it. When did you know you were gay? Like, when did you know, oh, I like women and I need to, I don't know when you knew, so I'm just giving you only 3 options to answer. What age were you when you knew mentally, oh, I am this thing that is not okay, so I'm going to pretend that I'm fixing it, but I do know what I like? When did you realize that, whether it was called gay or not, even if you were in the Scientology or not?
My swim coach had the biggest pair of jugs that I'd ever seen in my entire life. And she used to, when she would teach us certain swimming things, she'd wear a tiny bikini. And I would always be like, wow, she's just so pretty. And then watch her boobs bounce. And yes, is it inappropriate, guys? Yes, it was.
Wait. No. Don't start judging yourself. Let's go back into that moment. So all you see when you say she's so pretty, are you saying like her boobs are so beautiful and I'm attracted to that, but you don't realize it? Or are you being like, I love this whole body, I love the masculinity of her, like swimming strong? Like, what did you like? Just the boobs? Do you think, like, would you be attracted to that person right now still? Or
oh God, no.
Was it a
she was such a raging bitch?
Okay,
but at the
I had a whole
time,
different I had a whole different thing too when I was young, which I'll tell you about at the cadet org. But okay, so you just saw big boobs and realized later, now you're going, oh, I was very into boobs. Like, I loved looking at tits, jugs, whatever. What did you call
jugs, them? Tatas, maracas, flotation devices.
I want, like on those shows where they're like, name 10 different names for tits or boobs.
That's right. I got it.
I bet you could do like 8 in a row, at least 8, maybe not 10, but I'm sure you could get there.
Well, we could always have the how did I tell myself when it's hard to hide the gayness. It is hard to hide the gayness, but how I justified it is I'm just I'm attracted to women, but never act on it.
So you would say you have affinity, like you could love, like you could see the beauty, affinity, but you could see the beauty in women, which you probably felt, right? Internally, you probably were like, no, I'm like physically attracted, but I guess that's what affinity is called, when you can see like love or beauty in something without having to sexually be attracted to it or something. Being close to it, right? Isn't affinity being close to something without physicalness, or, you know, just always, I don't know, somebody, Serge, where's Serge Del Mar?
Yeah, he would probably be.
I invited Serge Del Mar. I also invited, I forgot to send him the message, but I invited Scott DOA to jump on later on, like maybe near the end, if there's any other questions, or if they have personal questions from different views from us being where we were raised and stuff like that, which I need to send.
Did I feel a lust? Yes, I did feel a little bit of a lust.
I love these questions, guys. Let's get in the gay with Liz and Laura.
In the gay. But I was terrified because I was like, oh my goodness, here's my swim coach. She's being paid to teach me how to become better at swimming.
How old were you? How old were you?
7, 8.
So you were like 7, 8 years old, and you were like, okay, this is exciting. Something different. This is exciting. And then you're not allowed to like what you're liking, apparently, right? You're feeling like you're not supposed to be looking or liking. Right. And do you think, I just love this. Do you think that you're the only one?
Yeah, I thought I was the only gay person, and I was like, oh my God,
But did you know what gay was? I didn't know what gay was until I was like 14 in Clearwater. So did you know what gay was?
I knew
at 7 and 8?
I knew, no.
Or did you just think, oh, whatever I'm feeling is aberrated?
I thought I was aberrated. I was like, there's something broken in me. My parts are broken because this thing makes a tingle when I see that thing, but that thing doesn't make a tingle when I say that thing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm broken. I'm broken.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I definitely thought I was aberrated because one of my best friends, Susie from the cadet org, me and her were always so close and comfortable. And so like, yeah, we definitely experimented with, oh, if you touch me here, just follow what I do and let's see if we like it or not. And so then I would do whatever she was. I was doing whatever she was doing. I don't know if it was doctor, but I think she tried to even use that at one point, like, you know, doctor. And I was like, what the fuck is doctor? Like, we're not supposed to be going to doctors. What are you talking about? You know, no psychiatry or doctors allowed. No, this is supposed to be feel good. So anyway, so she was just like, just follow what I do. And I was shocked because she was a more innocent child, or cadet, I should say, not a child, right? Because even though we're 8 years old, not allowed to be a child. So I was shocked, like, oh, wow, she just is so brave and knows. Like, I was the more outgoing wild one, and I couldn't believe that she was so sweet and cute and like and it wasn't just her. It was other cadets too that were more like not aggressive because we were literally children not knowing what we were doing, but we were just so suppressed and secluded in the way we were thinking that we didn't even understand what natural things that kids do when they're growing up and learning about life and how to make babies and all kinds of shit that should be normally talked about. But it's purposely suppressed from you or from us as children, not being children, being adults, but in small, we're not supposed to, like, we're even correcting ourselves as children. Did you find yourself doing that? Correcting yourself as a child? Being I'm
an adult in a small body. I'm an adult in a small body. Yeah,
that's aberrant.
Get my TRs in. I'd be crying and I'd be yelling at myself. Like, I'd go to the mirror and I'd be like, get your TRs in. Get your TRs in. And I'd be like crying more. And I'm like
you're not getting, you're not fixing it.
What?
You used to do that in the mirror.
Yes, in the mirror. I used to do that too. Like, why are you still crying? I would ask myself in the mirror, why are you still crying? You're being banky, knock it off. I would tell myself that. You're being banky, knock it off. I would tell myself that in the CMOCW.
Or you're being reactive.
Yeah, that's you need to clearly fucking hurry up and get up the bridge and at least get to clear because you're being out PR as a cadet and as a CMO messenger. It would just trigger all the way down like, oh, I just better get up that bridge quick because I'm clearly aberrated. Everywhere I want to go, it's aberrated or other fish to fry. Out ethics.
Yep. I was definitely notorious for out ethics. As a child, I was deemed a very out ethics.
Yeah, and Karen Hall, I would say you said, was it like freedom to not hide your gayness when you left Scientology? I'm sure that's for Liz, but I also felt like in Scientology, it was actually like the equivalent of being evil or the devil or like like so insane. If you even like flirt, like flirting wasn't even the thing. It was out 2D. It was just an immediate, even if you had feelings for another person that was the same sex or anything, that is out 2D. Like they would even they questioned my friendship with Sarah Leobard when she was 17 years old and she tried to unalive herself. And she's like 5 years older than me. So they thought that there was something going on with her to try to manipulate me, that me and her were doing stuff that was out 2D when we were literally just planning like running away, making peace pipes, building caves, just doing things that were completely out ethics. But they were interrogating me as if I was like that me and her were doing things that were out 2D or sexual. Because we got 4 years older than me. And why is somebody like me and her so interested in each other? Why are we such close friends?
Yeah, it was once reported, like Molly and I both ended up on sec checks because it was reported that our parents had us take a bath together.
Yes. And yep, that happened a bunch when the kids would be writing overts and withholds up because so-and-so might have touched so-and-so. And then they were talking about this story. And guess what they love to do, Liz? Guess what these fucking little pervert fucks love to do that are supporting pedophiles through auditing? They love to read children OWs. They love to read child's overts and withholds. What were you thinking? What were you? And they love to have these men who have issues with minors to sec check people that are like, oh, let's get Roberto in here. Let's get people in here that are used to hearing about underage sexual shit. Like they get off to the more detailed. Literally, it's a sexual trafficking, fucking laundering, disgusting thing that normalizes this. Instead of calling it rape or sexualizing it as what it is, they say out 2D. Oh, you're just out 2D, or you're aberrated on your second dynamic. If you hug too long, you're aberrated. You were obviously going into your aberrations. What does aberrations mean? Oh, something that was stuck to you from other lifetimes. Pictures. Oh, thetans. Oh, body thetans. Once you get more up, OT3. Now you're auditing those sexual body thetans.
I've been at the side of the demon.
So it's never the pedophile. It's never the person. It's always, oh, these body thetans. It was the body thetans' fault. And that's why Scientology thinks it's okay to get rid or get like just kind of whimsically, launder the fact that there's pedophiles and people. The only reason they're interested in Scientology so hardcore is that they themselves are paying money to get off their overts and withholds through OT3 or auditing body thetans or whatever it is. It eventually makes it all normalized and okay. And that only Scientology can handle murderers, rapists, pedophiles, all that. Only Scientology can handle it.
Holy rogue. My first girlfriend was in first grade. All right, nice. She gave me a golf ball as a gift. I'm hoping you liked golf balls. Was I out ethics? Depends. Was your exchange in?
I don't understand the detailedness of the golf ball, but that's really weird.
Yeah.
Unless you were at Gold Base and me or Liz's dad or something. I don't.
Because
golf ball a little confusing.
I'm not sure how a golf ball would be like a.
And I don't want to know.
I've never given anyone a golf ball. And if there's something with golf balls, it's kind of like the dirty sayings. I don't get them all, so please.
Yeah, you have to. Only Liz gets. Only people like me and Carrie can make Liz get a dry sense of humor.
Question: was there ever a time when you were out in public and you thought about just running out to get help?
Yep.
Every single day.
Fucking
You know how
yes.
many
That's
people would stop?
This
None.
is why me, Serge, everybody were out there going, kids cannot consent. We're fucking telling you when we were in there, right, Liz? You're going, no. If I had a fucking choice, if I had somebody else other than only my dad or my mother to call, if I was allowed to go to my aunt, I would have. They told me it was out PR. It would have been out PR to send a young child Sea Org member to an outer org or out. Not even an outer org, but somebody that wasn't even in the Sea organization, let alone an active Scientologist on the bridge, which was my aunt. And now she is. Now she's OT3 and she's the FSMIC in Toronto, Canada, but she can't talk to me anymore. Nope. So the outlets were nothing. Our options, and imagine a child saying, hey, if you're having trouble, you're supposed to go to only these terminals, right?
Yeah.
Only security, only the ethics MAA, only these. You can only, if you really want to leave, you only can speak to one person in the organization. You only can tell them, and that ethics officer will tell the justice chief or whoever.
Yeah.
You're only allowed to tell one fucking person that you want to leave. So yes, as a kid, Serge Delmar was screaming in his head, I want to get the fuck out of here. In fact, Serge knew he never wanted to go there. Serge was like, no, I want to go back to high school. I want to go where I was supposed to. What the fuck? And somehow he was convinced otherwise as a child. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Hey, no. What is it that you always tell me? Never say sorry. Never say sorry when you're going through the emotions that you have to go through.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I can go down many trails when I'm going down these emotions. But maybe my hybrid Mary Jane Wanta will help me.
Hey, okay. I'm just going to get this out there before another question comes up. Okay. Anybody watch the World Series game? First of all,
with the Yankees and the Dodgers?
Yes. And I know you live in LA and you might be a Dodgers fan.
I was a Dodgers fan until I went to the city hall the other day and saw that a few of the the people that people are fighting against were coming in with their Dodgers jacket and just ignoring the people that were yelling and saying, well, you coming? And he was just coming in to represent. Hi, thank you. I forget his name. But with the Dodgers, and I was like, yeah, of course, every city is everybody has their Dodger sports, the Yankees, they have their games, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, you know me, Liz, just like Scientology, it's very culty. Dodgers, the whole Dodgers, it gets very deep. Dodgers gets like LA Dodgers and football games and basketball, all these games are running like deals and manipulating artists and players left, right, and center all across. So like games aren't actually the games they are. I wish we could say that, but they're so manipulated. Right? Not that the players aren't themselves working and aren't skilled. They are. But you could be as a great musician or and you could still be fucking destroyed by a label that you signed to or contract that you signed to. Anyhow, so yeah, go ahead with your Yankees and your Dodgers analogy.
I'm sitting there trying to watch the game. I'm focusing. I'm trying to, because Cultology was on yesterday during the game. So I'm trying to, like, every commercial, I'm jumping on Cultology just to see how things are going. And then I'm going right back to the Yankees game. And then they lost. And seriously, any New York fan in the house, can we put our rally caps on for tomorrow's game? I'm just saying. Little bit of rally cap, maybe.
What's the score currently, Liz? Let them know.
2-0 Dodgers.
2-0 Dodgers ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, that feels kind of spicy.
Yep, they won the first two games. So if New York doesn't pull a miracle,
we got the Dodgers and the Yankees up. We got Dodgers up by 2. We got the Yankees waiting to do something. That's all I got for you.
Okay. All I know is, and then I saw some of the prices of the tickets, and I'm like, good God. Wait a minute, Laura, can you let DOA? That lady plans on spray painting his RV when he leaves it or goes to sleep.
Okay, we could just let that continue. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, this is not no move. Hey, whoever starred these or whoever, let's not bring
That was
any of
me.
that.
That was Carrie.
Carrie, this
I
is
just
just
wanted-
this
I
is
don't know
just
what's going on.
DOA's chat doing. DOA will text me if anything.
Okay.
'cause
Cool. Got it.
Oh. So we have someone here
Who
who
is
makes beauty look like, you know, a lot of different things. And if you have
Oh.
not subscribed to this amazing person, I'm going to let you know to subscribe. But I also need to tell you, order No More Drama. No more drama.
Yep.
Okay.
I need
No
to
more
actually
drama.
order some. No more drama, and it's on Serge and Michael at literally Serge and Michael's YouTubes and on all their stuff. No More Drama is their pet all natural herbal medicine. It's not well, we call it medicine because it comes
is
from
medicine.
the plant. It literally is. And I just ran out of when I went on 13-hour shifts, and I'm like, I don't know if Scott's going to be able to. I put it in Foxy's food and the cats, and they love it, and they're calm and they're mellow, and they go out, and Scott's like, no, they were fine. And I was like, well, that's because I gave them No More Drama from their medicine store. So yes.
Yes. So I will pop up the one great Surge.
No more drama in my life. Mary J.
Right?
Blige.
I love the no more drama.
No more drama in my life.
Because I want everyone. I want everyone that has like an aggressive dog or a dog that just needs a little bit of love. Like literally, before you think about getting rid of the dog, you do anything, give it some no more drama.
Well, this is what the great Mary J. Blige said, you guys. So tired of all this drama. You go your way, I go my way. I want to be free. Broken heart again, another lesson learned. Better know your friends or else you will get burned. Gotta count on me, because I gotta guarantee that I'll be fine. No more pain, no more pain. No more pain, no more pain. No more drama, no more drama in my life. No one's gonna make me hurt again. Why I play the fool, go through ups and downs, knowing all the time you wouldn't be around. Or maybe I like the stress because I was young and restless. But that was long ago. I don't want to cry no more. So, yeah.
It's so brilliant. Like, it's so brilliant. And for those of you who know I was going to say Missy Elliott, no more drama in my life. Mary J. So, but if I could take those lyrics and write a whole different, completely song. The message is very clear. No more drama in my life. I've been crying for so long. Like, no. It's as simple as that. Like, I love that. And not to bring it, also to tie it in with Serge and Michael. Tell them your whole pet line.
Yeah, and where they can order it.
And everything, because it's fucking amazing.
I want you guys actually to just go ahead and subscribe to Michael's channel. It's called The Pet's Journey, because he's going to be doing a bunch of content.
Can we put that up? Carrie, could you put that in? Could you type it in and put it up?
Yeah, it's Michael The Pet's Journey. So that would be great if you guys just subscribe there, because he's going to be doing a lot of talks about this, because it is really a whole subject on its own. And I would like for people to really get educated and ask questions and, look for answers. Like, as pet parents, everybody's, busy managing the health of your pet. So it's a full-time job, as we all know. And, we just have a great community of, just a very holistic, big community of pet wellness people that are just so dedicated and so specialized. And here in, we're in Los Angeles, the mecca of like the pet wellness and human wellness and all kinds of
but
allegedly.
but pets are, I don't care what anybody, even if psychiatry and Scientology and anybody who was like, no, that's not the pets heal. Pets heal. So we all have pets, right? And Serge is like full circle healing the pets that are healing us.
I saw the healing that Foxy gave Lara, like the grounding, the immediate grounding, like it went from, it was a night and day difference. And I was
for
like,
both of us.
And I was trying to be very sober
Foxy.
with her when she said, oh, I'm going to really grab Foxy. I was like, this is a full-blown adoption. Like, this is not just like, oh, this is like, you have to be ready and be there really ready for that animal. And it's something that just happens like this. It's like, I can't explain it. It's like, once you bond with that animal, like, then they're just like in you. And, you want to just like, you can't imagine, like, it's just, they're
especially for things that all of us never had. And for the children out there, how many pets do you have? For the kids that were in the Sea Org, how many pets do you have? Everybody I know has pets. They all have pets because they've never felt such a close connection of just pure unconditional love. We never fucking had that. That's the biggest thing, is that we never had that. We never had that from the very own people that we should have had it. And when we did get it, it was the worst. Liz, you got beat. Mine was rejected. Oh, you should be able to handle this. You're an int-rich cadet. Serge was your ethics officer, or auditor. You should be able to confront all of this. Your other fish to fries of trying to be a model and be something fun and an artist is fucking outrageous. And is a surfac on your reactive mind. Like, it just fucking, all this garbage always.
It's really just
And animals are so there. No matter how crazy you are. Sorry. No matter how crazy you are.
PTSD, like, we have all the soldiers that come back and treat the PTSD. And that's, the common denominator that is in our community is the amount of PTSD that we're all going through on a daily basis, having to manage it. And the pet just becomes like a grounding, stable factor where you get so much.
And it's different. Nobody teaches you what like, even when Serge comes or Mike, or I bring Foxy over to, the photo from this time last year popped up of Foxy, and she had just run. Oh my God, it made me cry so much. She had just ran into a metal fence because she didn't realize that she was getting bigger. And when she played with me, I was getting into her routine. And when she was smaller, she was able to run through the fence. And one day she went boom and almost knocked herself out. And I was like, oh my, and all I did was hug her. And I never had that. I never had somebody just be right there and say, it's okay. You don't need to do a touch assist. You don't need to do that. Just a hug. And she was crying. Oh my God. And I just was like, all I can do is say, it's okay. I love you. I love you so much. Like, and even so, I saw that photo. I can't even pull it up, but I saw that photo with Michael and you looked so cute because we had just done like a whole dance video. And Michael was just so like proud of us. You know how he always is with his sweet, loving heart when like around Christmas, just always making it feel nurturing for us. And like this photo, it was just so sweet, popped up. And it reminded me like that, like there was moments I was crying like so hard with Foxy in the shower, in the tub. And I was like, you're ruining my life. You're ruining my life. All I'm trying to do is give you love. What is going on? And over the months and over like now years, I'm like, wow, I've never thought that we were always so disappointed with putting so much effort into love and like trying to please our parents or trying to please even our bosses or somebody above us or something, that like Foxy doesn't need like approval. She just needs like to feel good. And like, that's all we ever needed. And there was so many times when I was like yelling at Foxy, not so many, but there were times when I'd catch myself. I hated hearing myself yelling at her. I was like, you sound like an abusive adult at the ranch. Like, I was like, no. And I was like, ew, that's so unelegant. Like, even Foxy is not that way. She's so elegant. And I was like, how do I teach her this like disruptiveness from like elegancy? Because there was so much elegance, and there's so much elegance that I see in Liz, and so much elegance that I see in Serge, and like Serge Oblinsky when you guys do art. And like, there's so much elegance that I see in so many of us that I'm like, that is what we have to shine, because this was always suppressed. Talk about suppression. This is always the thing that suppressed us, was like being able to just love an animal or somebody as much as you wanted in your own free will without being told like, okay, that's a little much, you know. Like,
this is a moment where I tell you, you're so suppressive, whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not, like, even though you're doing the most caring thing, you're so suppressive just because your attitude for liking something so much different than the purpose of Scientology is suppressive. Just because you give love and care to something you connect with accidentally without even having to do the technology and pay thousands of dollars and be fucking forced to do shit at ages you thought shit was normal, that now you're going, I cannot believe I was reciting this at 8, 9, 10 years old, thinking like I was so powerful for doing it. It's disgusting. Like, what do we have? What do we have from our childhood other than to speak the fuck about it? And then to be as strong and clear as fuck about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can help other humans for the next century, literally for the next fucking decades, because we could show how disgusting a manipulative cult, group, organization, whatever the next thing will be that the law that the people allow that is supposed to protect us is literally being manipulated. So how do you get people who are manipulating the law? That
you expose it.
But Liz, not Serge, none of us ever had anybody doing what we're doing right now for anybody that's being raised to do this at a baby's age. Oh, good. Oh, do a touch. Oh, give a silent birth. Nobody talks. Shh, no connection. If the baby is dramatizing, step it away. I'm sure Siri and fucking Kate, you know, Tom Cruise, Katie Holmes can tell you that from then all the way till Siri was 4 or 5, no, she was like, no more. At least Siri had the opportunity of a mother who had some sort of gut feeling that said, Dad, I need help. I need help. We need to get away from the whole family and divorce. I'm in a fucking... It's so much.
Katie had her dad who was a lawyer.
That's what I'm saying. Her dad, who she was able to go to.
Or he was able to rescue and somehow get to her in a way.
Literally, her own father. Difficult. Lawyer or not, but her own father. At least Katie Holmes had her own father to go to. Serge didn't have that. Liz didn't. None of us had anybody that we can go to outside of RTC. Nobody. We weren't allowed to go to the outside. That's the whole point. So when any child is connected to Scientology, they are not allowed to talk to child services. They are not, and if they do, they are trained. You know why? Because they're not allowed to say anything.
You fell down. You fell down the stairs.
They're not allowed to say anything to make Scientology, I don't want to say the church, to make Scientology look out PR. They don't want to say anything that they would be at fault because I broke my leg. It's now Scientology's out PR. I'm making Scientology look bad because I had to get an abortion at 15 or whatever it is. It's out PR for Scientology if the outside world gets this information. Crickets. Nobody's listening, Serge? You're so rude. You mean the outside world is not listening? Okay, I was like,
Exactly.
well, the
Just
outside
like,
world is rude.
meanwhile, the outside
Rude.
world.
Well, literally, I'm like, this is like, stop telling us like, what is this child hotel thing? This is, we're telling you. You guys would look at something like Celebrity Center as a fucking hotel.
Mm-hmm.
There were children, I'm talking to the outside world, but there were children like me, Liz, and Serge, and Nora, and so many other people that would never have considered this to be a hotel. We considered it to be the elite fucking housing for the celebrities that were going through auditing. We would never, it would have been like, this is a hotel. Yes, we call it a hotel, but that's why it's so hard for people like
We're
Mitch,
like, the
Brisker, and
joke is
people
on
to like,
you.
the
don't
joke
get
is
it, but
on
we
you. You're
get it.
still not getting it. Yeah. It's a fucking hotel. Is it not the Fort Harrison Hotel? Is it not the Hacienda? Is it not, or whatever? Even our birthing
Manor
was considered a hotel in the public's eyes.
People are liking the crickets because I mean
Let's
that
do
is
more. To the FBI.
it's like it's so like relaxing when you really think about
Yeah, I
it.
was
Like,
adding.
kinda like,
It does.
Wait.
and it's good to play sound, you know, because the sound brings us to the moment. And as hard as it is to pour our heart out, we do realize that we're coming from being powerful on purpose, and you know, just showing up and sharing and caring and exposing and advocating for these childhoods not to be repeated. That's the only power we have to prevent. We don't have the, and that's what's also so triggering, right? Because none of us have been able to prevent what happened to us. So
Yeah.
then that becomes like
For
the
so
daily
long.
trigger. The daily
For
trigger is
so
like,
long.
well, wait, we were in such jeopardy. No one saved us. No one helped us. We know how crazy they are inside, because we understand right now how difficult it's just been to show up and explain what the facts are, and how many decades has
mentally.
taken us to unravel from all the lies. And
Like, even the thing is that children right now in all of these hotels across all of these organizations across all of the United States, they all think what we're like, even if they were to hear something right now that Serge has been talking about, they would have to continue. They would first be like, oh my God, I can't believe what he said. But then as they got to hear more and more and more, it's the deprogramming of exactly what Scientology is doing. You're going to start to go, oh my God, well, it is that way. Oh, okay. Well, if you look at it that way, then it is that way. But they are just seeing it in a whole different view. So they cannot consent. Like, the only people who are advocating are the people who are literally in the chats and on the YouTubes and out doing the protesting and out in the courts and out doing their cases as kids that were in it 20, 30 years ago. This is the way that we are doing it, because there has been no other way. Even, let me tell you this, even protesters that were in Anonymous and things like this were not advocating for the children of all of this. Okay, they, yes, in a way they were saying, yeah, elderly children, everything, but
that
children,
information has been kept compartmentalized, and that is the problem. Like,
because part of the problem is
that whole entire situation was compartmentalized, kept out of all the narratives of the media. I mean, the corporate media that has grifted away at so much of these stories, but they've always missed the one area that's been purposely compartmentalized. Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, legally, I wonder why.
No, this is just a mistake. It was compartmentalized for a purpose. And we are here to prevent, we are here to advocate for the prevention, for, you know, calling for a moment of common sense. It's all that it requires. Everyone is going to have to wake up, and you're going to have to come up to common sense. And yes, you were betrayed, and betrayal blindness developed. We get it. We get how you're so wrapped up in all these false narratives. We've already decoded all the false narratives and repudiated all of it.
Yeah, we were there.
There was nothing okay about it. Nothing about it is, all of it is indefensible. So it's like, drop your guard. Stop telling yourself that you couldn't have made a mistake, because you couldn't have made a worse mistake is the problem. It's like, it's the magnitude of the mistake, the magnitude of how it's systemic, how it just, contaminated all our families. Like all of them got compromised. Like none of us have a story where, oh, our parents didn't escape it because they all catch the bug. The bug of L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard, the cockroach. L. Ron Hubbard, the fraudster, the felon, the disgusting clown that everyone's purported was an incredible humanitarian that didn't give an F about helping humans. He was helping himself and his surrogates. And it's time to stop.
And he was prepping little babies to do that. Like literally, can you imagine if L. Ron Hubbard really gave a fuck about children and the law and rights and things like this and not covering up for all kinds of fucking crazy ass shit in the 80s, okay, when he was building the fucking Sea Org with babies? He would have put so many he would have put so many policy letters that were like, the children are the most important. We need to uphold to the law. And the law says these
the adults, period. That was
exactly. He already made the law.
The children are the adults and everything is rancid after that. Like literally, like we no further things to make. Like we don't even have to over explain ourselves. If the children are adults in commercial buildings and hotels, guess who suffers? That's the equation. Children. Test your IQ. Okay. We didn't go to school, but we're going to put an IQ test for everybody. Question number 1. Hotel or commercial building filled of adults and kids, where the kids are told they're adults.
Normal, not normal.
In the best interest of the kids, yes or no? It's a yes or no answer. There's no gray area. It's just check yes, check no. That's it. So we're just so sick of having to over-explain ourselves because there doesn't need to be over-explained. Common sense is common sense. The common sense was nowhere to be found at the people at the hotel. And I'm here to say, yes, we get you. We get how you're so deluded because that's the rhetoric of L. Ron Hubbard. It's been groomed to you definition by definition. All of that word salad completely warps your perceptions of reality in a
when you say way. When you say we get you, you're at that moment, Serge, you're talking about the ex-Scientologists and ex-Sea Org members that are still not getting it. You're not talking to the overall broad public.
I really want to defend this.
They're not as what it is.
The world wasn't saved while children were being enslaved. Okay, so contrary fact, let's go back to Scientology, everyone. Contrary fact, out point. Children slaved, we're going to save a world. Okay, so it's a falsehood. Okay, so everything's a falsehood. So just drop everything. Stop defending it. Stop being right. Stop being right. That's what you can knock off. Knock off being right. Let's turn to you in your words. Knock
it's
off
okay to be wrong.
Yes.
Try being wrong.
Stop making others wrong.
And stop using L. Ron Hubbard
off. Actually, time, place, form, and event at the FBI, at the LA Police Department, at the actual people. I'm here to cooperate. I was out of my MF mind. Give me a deal. This is disgusting. I know that they're still being done to other kids. Where do I go to testify? Who do I make a deal with here? You can make amazing deals for yourself, Scientology parents. Amazing deals. The FBI would love to hear from you and be like, yep, I want to cooperate. I was defrauded. Like, contextualize your situation. Because right now we're talking about the broad stroke issue. Kids and adults at an industrial size scale, all inside of a hotel where everyone went with the pitch. The kids are the adults too. Nothing to see here. Everyone got the pit. Great. They're all adults. So, and we know how far that went. And I mean, again,
and the idea of
inconceivable. And I mean, Liz Ferris was as a minor working as a slave for celebrities, you guys. I mean, you were at the president's office. That was your job. Your job was to clean up PR messes of celebrities that were doing shit in the restaurants, and now you have to go clean up the out PR. And it's like, why was Liz, as a 16-year-old girl, being used to do that? Who thought that was a great idea?
Yeah, well,
like
someone thought it was a good idea at 16 to give Liz responsibility, and it went to Liz's head.
Well,
Well,
and the fact that like being at
we had no
celebrity
choice, you guys. Like it was a dog eat dog world. Like if you
exactly,
didn't show them that, they
then
would
you're
have
out.
your head on a pike faster than your eyes could blink, and they took it very serious.
Yeah,
And that was their favorite phrase. Oh, whose head are we gonna put on a pike today?
yeah.
Yep.
Somebody, yeah, it would literally
And
be
I'm
like
sorry, but
Heads are
it's
gonna-
executives
who's gonna fry
walking
today?
around.
We're
Yeah,
not talking about like, oh, sir, you're so hyperbolic. Head on a pike.
head on a pike. Who's
P-I-K-E.
going to the RPF? Whose life is
Pike.
getting destroyed?
We're putting a head on a pike in front of everyone because the humiliations came
Yeah.
on a daily basis. Like one day you were in, the next day you were out, the next day you had effed up. Now you're on our ethics particle. Now you're an upstat. It was all dehumanizing you in this like, grading system that makes no sense. That's all based on word salad. It's all based on dehumanizing all end users. So yes,
And a lot of
even the adults are not, there's nothing in it for them. They're stupid, they're dumb, they're getting off on it. It's an adult's game only at best.
And
That's
I
why
would
it
say
has
it's
not been
also
saved.
newer generationally. It's newer, even like L. Ron Hubbard didn't prepare himself for the internet, clearly, right, Serge?
No.
You've never seen anything. I've never, ever, ever, I didn't know about the internet, obviously, till way later than the outside world. Okay. But coming out, knowing that there's this thing, the internet, and even in my learning and loving music video, I did this whole thing to show this, like, oh, coming from Barbie straight to the internet, learning and loving, and like seeing all these flashbacks. Like the fact that I could type anything in was so crazy to me. And like I felt so guilty being like, oh my God, I can type in Jason Begay or Lisa McPherson or like, and I was like, I want to know what happened at the end of the cases for the outside world. I wanted to know what happened
And you know
out
what that's
here.
called? You know what that's called?
Deprogramming, deprogramming myself.
Information deprivation.
Literally, yeah.
They
I was
were
like,
running-
where are
they
the
were
other
running a
dots?
Complete program of information deprivation
Yes.
for us.
Yes.
Like we were
Yes.
deprived of information. We weren't allowed to know. We weren't allowed
Yep.
to look. We weren't allowed to ask. We weren't allowed to say anything, say that we were concerned, even voicing a concern like, well, what's going on?
Is
with-
LPR, but that's LPR.
When that happened with Lisa, like I was at the hotel. I was
Like, what
literally
the
going
fuck?
inside the case supervisor's offices while they were all going crazy, yelling, screaming. I was like with a folder. I was like 15 years old. I had just been told to be a folder page because that's what they get you to do. Like immediately start carrying everyone's cases.
Yeah. Get
So-
all 30 folders to the CS now.
You'd be carrying like 5,
Like,
6
quick, I'm going
folders,
up to the senior CS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
This case is
opening
getting
up the-
reviewed.
ivory towers, and they're
Yeah.
all there with all their machines, looking, listening, writing down notes,
Along Kartazinski.
speaking, saying disgusting things, which is the audits are disgusting.
Yeah. The
Like,
RTC reps would be
Disgusting.
going
The
to
most
the
disgusting thing anyone has ever seen on a videotape. I literally guarantee you that.
It's forced interrogation. So like, and then you have Gayla Gualteri, who's in the video room, like, oh, RTCs, oh my God, Lisa McPherson, and so you have somebody like Gayla who's like, who at the time, Gayla was my age. We were both the same age. And she was 15 years old, 14 years old in the video room with TVs like VCR, all these TV sets, at least 30 screens that she could flip through each screen to see other 5 on every floor of every auditing room of every hotel room. The
Yeah,
hotel
where they
rooms are
can-
converted into auditing rooms. Every
With
every
massage
organization
tables, like with
in-
massage
with massage-
tables in every
because
room.
sometimes in
in
an
a
auditing
bathroom.
session, you have to
For a
pause the
hotel.
auditing session to do a touch assist. You need to physically handle the body up. No problem. We're going to pause what we're doing here in this audit session and go give you a touch assist right here. Look, massage table ready, waiting. This isn't like, this is like as an adult, if you were here in a nurturing, natured world where you had plants in the river and planting your fucking potatoes in the earth and care, like, how dare you do this to a child, let alone if I had a child and you were doing this to this at 5 years old, already programming to think that this was normal. you have ruined my daughter or son's life. Like, you have already ruined it at age 10. They're already fucking militarized into this. That means you have ruined.
Well, and that's what we're advocating against. Like, just the grooming of the definitions alone is so disgusting. It's full-blown intellectual abuse, because you were teaching us to speak language that is not real language. It's just grooming language, sanitizing language, reframing language, PR language. Everything could be, we were handled on command, you guys. As long as they said, oh, this has been handled. Your needle floated. Like, you were not allowed to complain about whatever they told you was handled, or that your needle floated.
Mom would say, how can we handle this? And that's what it would mean. How can we make it so that your needle is floating? Ew.
And it's just, it was so manipulative. I mean, I was just like, I've been reading the Lisa Marie Presley book, and it's so sad to see, for example, there she talks about like her loss of her father, and how Priscilla Rand sacked her into Scientology pretty much after the loss of her dad. Then she ended up going into the fangs of Scientology, who just constantly re-traumatized her, because we know, return to the beginning of the incident and tell me when you're there. And it's like, they just keep you on a loop for hours and hours and hours. Your only option is to self-gaslight and tell them, okay, this is great, this is wonderful, Ron Hubbard is a genius, I'm smiling from ear to ear.
And even if you don't like it, you do the self-ethics. You put your self-ethics back and you go, well, obviously I'm not confronting this because it's making me feel uncomfortable. You're literally going, I feel so gross. And then they're going, well, let's dig into it. And so you're going, okay, here we go. Auditor and pre-clear means clear bank, you know? So you're trying really hard.
Having people that complete a 2-week course inside of a hotel become know-it-alls. That's the danger. And Lisa needed mental health from PhDs, not people that completed a 2-week course in a hotel. And for all Scientologists that want to go, oh, but all psychiatrists are bad, that is the most imbecile, stupid misinformation point that anyone ever said. Go and vet the psychiatrist that you want to work with, just like you would with a doctor, just like with a cardiologist, just like with anyone else. Don't outsource your mental health to a hotel. Like, how stupid can you possibly be? Oh, yeah, they're really handling it there with therapy. Find out what therapy is. Find out the power dynamics that are needed to purport that something is therapeutic, because I will almost assure you that being kidnapped against your will is not in any type of protocol, medical protocol.
And really don't you think that's what a psychologist degree and license is all about? Like, you can't. And Scientology is doing that. They think like, oh, what they're doing is they're taking the legal thing that they have to have in order to claim what they're doing is legal. They have to have a certificate. They have to have some sort of educational degree that all humans have said, okay, we've seen this pattern and this is very helpful to humans and this is not.
Given by underage kids. Stop. Like, seriously. Like, it's a sham. It's a scam. The certificates are being given by underage.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying a legal certificate in the outside world would demand. No, I'm saying in the outside world, like a psychology degree, you would have to go to school for.
Yeah, but it's just been a word of misinformation. They're just been misinforming purposely because they don't want mandated reporters around victims that they are exploiting. That's what starts criminal investigations. That's what starts scrutiny. And for some reason, the scrutiny has never happened. In 74 years, they have a clean record. They've never go to the police. They never have a problem. In what world is that not an out point? Oh, you have no lawsuits. You have no criminal investigations. You have nothing. Zero.
Right. That's what I'm getting. That's what I was saying, though. In an outside world, the reason people have credentials or certificates like a psychologist or a psychiatrist, it's because they're held accountable for this. Whereas in Scientology, they can just fucking audit somebody, or they can just say, oh, I did a course for 5 minutes or whatever. And it's like, in our organization, you get away with it because they have the law of a religion.
even that's a false equivalent, because again, it's like we've all now been to a therapist and we've all now been to an audit, and the key difference is one locked up against your
It's
will
not the
without
same.
consent,
That's what I'm saying.
the other is. So it's not a therapy, it's literally a torture, and it is
Yeah,
being
and they're calling
denounced
the
as
same
such.
thing.
It's a literal criminal act. It's what it is. It's a
And they're
literal
calling
criminal
like they
dehumanizing
literally
thing.
like they take rape and they call it out 2D. They take, you know, it's the same thing. They're taking, that's what I'm saying, is that they're taking, they assume, oh, our enemies are psychiatry and all this, and then they take their credentials and their works and they're taking L. Ron Hubbard's bullshit saying it's okay, and it's just hiding behind, from what I'm feeling, is only hiding behind a religious legal status and their IRS tax exempt status and allowing children to be in it. There's three things that it should just be insane if you call it for what it is, and they weren't manipulated. If Scientology was never given their status of being a religion, everything right now would be illegal that they're doing, the way that they bring in children, how they have them on their R1 visa.
I know that that's been the talking point, but at the end of the day, it was always illegal.
It was always illegal. So you're saying no matter the visa status or not, that's just another outlet.
What L. Ron Hubbard said to do is illegal.
Right.
We've done
Literally.
the research. It's true. We understand what the policies are. We understand they're illegal. And you know what? If you don't understand it, then you go do the research. You figure it out. You start connecting dots. Don't tell us what legal is. Because again, the so-called therapy was reframed, but it was a bullshit kidnapping operation that no child should have ever been anywhere near. And our parents were all about getting it for themselves. They understood the power dynamic imbalance involved. They understood how many boundaries would be crossed. They understood everything about it. So before anybody wants to go, I didn't know, you knew. The problem is that you knew. Scientology parents, you knew. The problem is that you knew, that you were informed, that you read the policy, that you had no misunderstoods, that you cleared it, that you signed it, that you co-signed it, that you signed it again. I mean, how many times did you sign and sign and sign? That's how they were getting everyone to be like, yeah, this is really me. I'm signing and I'm consenting. But then you did that to the kids. Then you brought them in. That's where everything goes into electroshock nation. If y'all would have kept this 21 and up, if we would have joined Scientology at 28, and it's as crazy as it is, but then you're just an adult, and then you try this and it doesn't work, and if they were just too extreme for me, then I'm leaving. Like, you're not going to bring your 5-year-old to that. You're not going to expose your 10-year-old to that. You should have enough common sense to be like, you know what? This not for them. Given that it is this extreme, given that it is this out there.
Yeah, and our parents never did that. I know I personally got told, like, don't speak in broad generalities. You know, like, they told me, well, who's they? But at the same time, I was supposed to believe that every single psychiatrist was out to get me and was out to destroy my head.
And again, going back to the, you know, we were programmed, we were groomed, right? Like the word for children is groom. You groom them, like, because you're there and you're just like, what? Like, you're just like, tell me, right? Like you're looking up to these people.
You're an empty vacuum. You're an empty vessel.
What do I need to learn? Okay, learn this definition, learn this other definition, learn this other definition. And then they are controlling you like a pet, like you were saying, Laura, like out ethics, down stat, up stat, you know, surf hacking, knock it off, blah, blah, blah. And it's
and they train you to do it yourself after.
365. Yeah. It wasn't like they just use those words when they went into an audit or in a course room. They were using that with you 24/7, 365. So they were manipulating your emotions, repressing them, making you feel bad for having them. You couldn't feel bad after you were getting abused. The more you would express how horrible you were feeling, the more they would double down.
It was your fault. The more that you had to do a longer ethics program or something to handle.
You know, with Lisa, like you see how much she went into that, and yet she was blaming herself for everything. Like she died feeling deficient, defeated, that she failed. And that just pains me so much, because I go, she was dealing with the unthinkable trauma of her dad being gone. And then Priscilla swoops in and then she shoves her in Scientology. And then she's told she's a vulnerable teenager at 9, 11. Again, you're just like, what are y'all saying? And she was convinced that it was something really wrong with her and that she just was out of control, right? And she was having all this trauma, bad coping mechanisms, the drugs and all of this. And she was trying to escape an untenable life for her and all that trauma. Like she lost the only source of protection she felt as a child. And it opened my eyes to us, right? Because like, you know, in our cases, like there was dad or mom were not safe. Like it sucks to be me, but I had both. Like, whoop. Ugh. Like, I'm not working with much here. They're both sadists.
That's
They're
what that
both,
was like.
They're
Even
getting
in my
off
little,
on my pain. They're getting off on my struggle.
even
They're
my
getting
little,
off on screaming, yelling, feeling like so like, oh, I'm so self-entitled. You should be so lucky to be in our family. And you're,
ugh,
you know, like
I
you're
hated
so
that
part
shit.
of it. It's like, you know, like,
And
oh, we're so
Liz,
special here. Like, what was special? There was nothing special. It was all a delusion. It's all just
literally,
phony
Yeah.
AF. Like,
Liz only had her dad. That's what our last convo was about. Our last interview was like, I was asking Liz, so why at 9 years old? I was so like shocked that she could have maybe had a choice to either go to her mom or her dad. And I was like, well, why didn't you go to your, like, what happened? Where was your dad? And she was like, oh, my dad was at Gold. And it was just like an automatic thing in her mind that because he was at Gold Base, there's no way that she was going to go there.
and see, part of our
That's so
reprogramming
fucked up.
ourselves is to actually recontextualize all of those words, right? Because like
Right, mom
was-
and dad, and then
well,
the
well,
caring,
from-
what we thought as
well,
children,
from
what
there,
that would be.
I mean, I've even started to call Sandra and Pedro by their name because
Okay, Phil Anderson
because
instead
it
of
feels,
Diane.
it
I mean,
feels
instead of Dad.
real. It's not it's just real. It's just I'm keeping
It's
it
true.
real.
It's
And
true.
look,
It's true.
I wish
I
we would
couldn't,
have
if I
helped.
had a
I wish
father
we
of
would
my
have
children,
I
if
wish that, you know what, you wouldn't have listened to Elvin Hubbard like that. You know,
right,
some of us have
right.
it worse
I wish you
where,
would have said no.
you know, yeah, you lost, you got muted somehow.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just no. I wish that they would have said no. I wish that
I wish they would've
my
walked
mom
away.
and dad for me, like
Oh,
they
I
could have
can
done
hear-
it,
I
right?
can hear Laura.
Oh, well,
Uh-oh,
they can
we
hear
can.
me, honey.
I can hear you. I
They
can
can
hear
all
Laura.
hear
I
you.
can hear Serge.
Maybe Serge muted
Mm.
me because he didn't want to hear me anymore.
I guess
Just
this will be my time to say good night.
oh no, I think Serge's thing isn't working.
Can you
Is
hear
it
us,
not
Serge?
working? Can you hear us or
he
no?
can't.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Shit.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Good night, everybody. Nice chatting with all of you.
Nice chatting with you. Ugh.
It's okay. His
love
audio.
him.
It happened a few times on other streams with his stuff. He's figuring out the audio. But what I was gonna say is that they made it so like like anything that was normal, anything that was to be questioned was so out of line for us to even question that we'd only just keep it in our heads.
Yeah.
And then maybe it would come up in an ethics interview or something as we thought about this thing. And so now it's a thing. So before we could even have our own choice or do anything, it really was like our parents were already planning and programming us to be in the situation that we were in. So like when Serge is like, they already knew. It's hard for me to still grasp that. It's hard for me to be like, well, my parents still don't know. So like, to me, I feel like they still don't know, but it's hard for me to grasp. It's hard for me to grasp intellectually and without denying it, without putting any like kind of like just seeing things how they were. They never, Liz, they never gave us the choice. It was always, you're coming here, you're doing this. Stay in line. Don't fuck up.
Yep.
Whereas I think that the outside world misses a lot of that, is that every single moment of our life was controlled. So even for me to get into a solid relationship, that's still scary to me. I'm like, there's days where I'm like, I need to just be alone. I need to run off and get drunk and run away from everybody. Not to cheat at all, but to feel that I'm like, am I still me? Am I here alone by myself as I'm used to and comfortable, you know? That's deep, but I get that a lot. Like, and nobody can heal that. Nobody being like, "Oh, do you want me to?" I'd be like, "Yeah, come hang out with me. Come be drunk with me." Maybe that'll heal it a little bit, so I don't feel alone physically. But I do believe that there's this empty wholeness because of this idea that we have of our mom and dad. Even as children, we wanted them to be something bigger and better that they never fucking were for us. They were always doing something wasn't that. And when we were asking for help, it was like, okay, how can I word this nicely so my mom doesn't feel interbulated by my letter that I'm sending her about needing new underwear and socks and like, you know, like I felt uncomfortable asking my own parents for things that a child would need that were just tiny basic things, let alone everything else that I didn't even dare ask for.
Or get stuff taken away even if you weren't doing anything bad.
Just because, oh, we know how she acts when we give her Tiger Milk
A,
bars.
B, or C. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she gets sugar shocked. So we're going to not give her those when they really just didn't want me to have a nice treat or a nice dessert that I could have without their permission. They needed to control all my joy so that they could have all the control over me so they can control the areas where I was being out ethics. That's the only word I can think of. I should have bird shirts that say out ethics, that just have goldenrod, that just go out ethics. I'm out ethics. Get your ethics in.
I mean, how many times did we get told that as a kid? You're out ethics. You're out ethics. Get your TRs in.
Totally out ethics. Knock off the backlash. And also, Liz, knock off the H&R.
Feel my finger.
Feel my finger.
Feel my finger.
Let's just do a nervous list.
I'll be like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1,
oh,
2,
get a little side boob.
Okay,
wait. Let's go back. Can we go back really quickly to the swimming chick? So you thought, oh my God, that's the first time you were like, I'm something that not every. Did you think there were other Scientology kids or not kids, but younger spirits, I guess? Whatever. I don't know. How would you say that? Younger bodies?
I thought I was broken. I thought there was something wrong with
you
me.
didn't think there were other people broken too, that they were dealing with it?
I was the only one. I was the only broken person.
Really? Fucking A. Okay.
Because I thought, there's not very many people that are actually the gay. Because when I would think of people being the gay, I thought like maybe there's one out of every 2,000 people, there's one gay person. But for some reason, then when I went to my first Pride event, I was like, wow, there's a lot, but at the time of driving down there, I didn't think.
Can I say that doesn't it feel like a difference between being gay, like regular outside world gay, and being gay coming from Scientology?
Yeah, there's flamboyant in the outside world, and then there's try to mask it.
But no, I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. But isn't flamboyant or not? Isn't there a whole? Don't you feel? And I know my other gay friends that have left the Sea Org and Scientology have felt like, that's been the biggest thing for them to have to process, let go of what they fucking felt gay was, go back to what they're feeling, and then starting to feel what they feel in a new unit of time, so to speak, instead of like what they always thought being gay was, because they had to erase that enjoying how it felt when somebody did that would make you that normally you would be like, oh, that's disgusting, that's below the belt, aberrated, that's vile, right? So you're now going, actually that's normal, and that's kind of exciting. Why don't you play with it? That's like, what? It's like a whole nother it's like a whole nother fucking thing, right?
Absolutely. For me, I was not okay with human touch at first.
I would have to force myself to pretend it was fine. Like I was like, oh yeah. Like certain things.
That's why when people come in for a fast hug, if you don't have my attention, like
You're just
like full attention, I will be like,
yeah, tense up.
you
I've
know,
seen
and
you.
instantly tense up
I've
and
seen you.
go, I'm ready.
I've seen
You
you like,
know?
oh, yeah. Like, are you ready? Can you handle this hug? You're like, yeah. You're like literally thinking like you're gonna go into beat up mode. Like I have to like defend myself or something from getting fucking beat up. Right. I don't
How
know.
hard
That's
is it for you to get compliments?
It's so annoying. I would rather hear it very quietly. Hey, you had an amazing fucking show. You're a bomb. You're a genius. You're a fucking actual rock star. Nobody knows. But anyways, okay, Laura, do you want a drink? Okay. Then I'd be like, you're the best. I love you so fucking much. But when people out loud say a compliment where other people can hear it, I'm literally like, don't talk to me. I don't want to see any of their reactions. Don't look at me. And even people who do it during protesting, like, oh my God, Lars, I'm like, can you not? I'm here to protest and I'm in a zone. Like, I don't want to be like fucking love bombed. It's not only the love bomb, it's not love bomb, but it's just like, I don't want to be like, I don't need an acknowledgement when I'm in the middle of fucking doing something. Like I don't, oh, wow, you're doing great. Like, shut up, leave and just observe and know, I don't know. There's something weird. And that might sound rude and blunt, but that's just how I feel.
Can you hear?
Yes, my sweet angel baby.
It's not catching it. I said you're beautiful.
All I heard was your.
I know. I heard it.
You're beautiful.
Yeah.
See, you should have sang the national anthem. I'm just saying the national anthem that started the World Series was not its best.
Liz texted me and said, you would, and I probably could. Like if I sang the anthem, obviously, I guess artists nowadays are able to sing the anthem how they do it, right? So yes, I could very much sing the anthem very well and in a very cool, loving, very strong way. In the way when I address it to the world of the US and the people that have fucking died over years and years, saving and nourishing our country. Like in that realm of looking at it, yes, I could sing the anthem beautifully. I feel not, what do you call that? Like sufficed enough. I don't feel like I'm like valuable enough or something. Not, I don't know, like to be singing something to the military and stuff. And I don't know. Have I told you lately that I love you?
Just wanted you to know.
You lately that I care. You fill my heart with sadness. You take away all my... No, isn't it? You fill my heart with gladness. You take away all my sadness. Okay, anyways, you get what I'm saying, Liz.
I do. But at the same time,
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Yeah. I'm not going to continue it.
I'm just saying.
Was there any type of guy? Okay, this came up before. Hi, Corn Freak. Was there any type of gynecology exams for birth control? Liz.
I was already on birth control because of my hormones being out of whack. So I had an exam, but they just refilled the prescription.
Yeah, and then for me, when I first got on birth control, I literally all I knew was to go to Shaw Health Center, Megan Shields. I just knew I could call them and be like, hey, I want to get on birth control. You know, my mom and dad were in this year, you know them, and they would be like, oh yeah, we know you as a little kid. Oh my God, how are you? Okay, so you're going, you know, you getting on birth control? And I was like, yeah. And so they just did a whole check. Okay. And like, she just asked me, she just asked me a few questions. And then she was like, okay, well, you should just try this normal birth control. And if anything happens or you don't like it or something's weird, just let me know. It was like that.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you?
18.
When you got on birth control?
When and why? 19, 18, 19.
Okay.
19. Oh, maybe it was because I got married. Ha! Maybe it was because I got married to Simon and I was 19 and I loved him and I knew I wanted to have kids, but I was like, I don't want to have kids right now. So I was like, okay, yeah, let me just be on birth control. I think that's why.
Okay.
Because there should be no other reason why I would be going to Megan Shields for such behavior.
Right?
Yeah. Go ahead, Liz. Was it hard to adjust to the world when leaving? Karen Hall, was it hard to adjust to the world? We're still adjusting.
Yeah, I'm still adjusting. When I first left, and I met like a true honest to God, like gay person, I was a little, I'm going to be, I was an asshole. I was an asshole. I was not nice to that person because I thought there was something wrong with them. And then they helped me find out who I really was and to be okay with it.
Did they find out who you really were?
Yeah, they did.
Find out who you really are.
Because we became each other's other half for our stories.
What condition formula is that? Find out who you really are.
Oh, God, I hate that. That just gave me indigestion.
It's enemy. It's condition of enemy. Treason is find out that you are. And then enemy condition is find out who you really are. And the really is slanted. So when you read the thing, it says find out who you really are.
Mm-hmm. I love how you still remember that it's slanted.
Oh my God. I did the conditions
I picture it when you're telling me.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, who am I really this time? In a new unit at a time, not like 6 months ago when I did the lower conditions. Who am I right now?
See, and I never did that. When I was doing my conditions, I'm like, who do I want to be right now?
But this is the thing. When you did like liability, the step where it says, deliver an effective blow to the enemies of the group that you were once pretending to be a part of, right? So there's this line of like, no, you really have to do something obvious that the new group will be like, wow, they're definitely not a part of that group anymore because they just, called out so-and-so and they were an out ethics person. So they're clearly not part of that out ethics group anymore.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I told on my family.
Same with me, Liz. Don't feel guilty. Let it go. Throw that right out your poop hole right now. Just so many. My whole family was used, like Serge was saying, our whole family was used against us to make us feel guilty at any point we were getting out of line.
Yeah.
Like they would say,
how dare you want your mom off post? How dare you?
Literally,
want more
like
food?
they said, are we going to have to call your mother and take her off her editing post? To have her handle you because you've been blown from the Int Ranch for 3 days. We didn't know if you were eaten by a cougar. That's what they said. Pearl Snappy standing by waiting for the human version of No More Drama.
We did. It's called Pakalolo.
I'm like, who's that going to be?
I'm just saying, Pearl. That's what it's called. Candy's Life. Okay. I'm so proud of you, Laura, Serge, and Liz for speaking out the past and Scientology did to all you. Keep shouting from the rooftops at Laura FM.
Yes.
Here's a question for you. And here's my question.
Okay.
How was it visiting the Wilcox and seeing inside the rooms now?
Oh my God. Weird. It was weird. And also, not to have you know, before you guys saw that, are they asking you and Liz? Like Liz and Mary?
Liz asked you.
Because the first time I saw it, it was like 5 years ago or so.
Okay.
And when I was like, oh my God, and I was on rollerblades with some mutual friends. One of them was an or I don't know if they're still Scientologists anymore, but they were a Scientologist friend. They definitely have family involved in Scientology, so I'm sure they're not totally out of the woods. Are we out of the woods? Are we out of the woods? Anyways, so we went on our rollerblades because we were kind of buzzed and having our little California, stoner on our rollerblades, rollerblading in Hollywood. And he was like, should we go to the, and I was like, yeah, we should. Like, what the fuck? And I was like, well, they let us in with roll. And I was like, yeah, they should. They're kind of like this bougie little hotel. So then when I never went in and like went up to the room, but then that I went in this day with them and I was like, I'm bringing my, my birth certificate. It was actually always sitting in my wallet. So I was like, I showed them, I was like, look, on my birth certificate, it says room 516 at 6500 Wilcox. So we go in there and the guy's going like, oh, and I'm on the phone. I'm like, this is so weird, guys. And I still have footage of us in the elevator going up to the room. And so I'm like, hey guys, I'm like, oh my God, slow down. Wait, we're almost there. Like going in, we get out of the elevator, go down the hall. And we're going like, hey, 511, da, 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 da. I'm like, okay, 516. And then we open and go in and they're like, oh, I just hear like, oh, and then I look in and I'm like, oh, it's just like a room. Mm-hmm. And then there's 2 Star Wars masks on the bunk bed things. Like, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, Star Wars. And then like a little bathroom. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was
still
like,
have the masks in there.
Yeah, the Star Wars mask. And then I was like, all of a sudden, like something went like whoosh. And I was like, whoa. My mom had me right here, right in this. No matter how the room looked, even if it was more like shitty and an apartment and a bed, my mom was here with me giving birth. She was nesting. This was her nest before giving birth to me. No matter what state of mind she was in, no matter what cult she was in. It just like this whole thing went over me like I'm like, oh my God. I don't know this. The feeling that I had was that like my mom was doing her best at the time. And she was giving me a good nest. I don't know. Isn't that weird?
No.
I will never forget being in the Wilcox with you, Liz, and you telling me about what life was like inside those rooms. Absolutely.
And describing where each of the bunk beds were. And Selfless was like, how did they fit all these bunk beds? You'd be surprised what we do.
Made it work. We made it
dresser.
work.
Yeah, and one dresser.
Bathroom.
But
we would share drawers. Sometimes, the older kids would get the top 2 drawers. And then the younger kids would get the bottom 2 drawers.
Yep. And then if more people came in, they
split the drawers.
Their stuff in their suitcases.
Oh, under the bed. Had to be organized though. And nothing, no kludge. They call it kludge. Kludge, kludge is not a normal word. The Wilcox
kludge.
The kludge.
Hold on. What is
it's like clutter and it's clutter and
mess.
And no, kludge, clutter and
garbage.
What's ooge? Ooge. No,
GE.
Ooge.
Garbage.
Like not splooge. That's weird.
I know. I'm like, why are you going dirty? Like you're going dirty real quick.
Splooge. Clutter splooge. No, it was like decluge. Remember, it was decluge. Declutter.
Yeah.
Declutter.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Declutter. Anyways, whatever. The
Wilcox was a birthing.
The Wilcox was the building that was bought by Scientology, by Scientologists that donated with their money. So the Sea Org members, the staff members that were handling the celebrities and bringing in new celebrities in the 80s to support and promote Scientology. They had the staff in this building that was called the Wilcox. And now that building is called the Mama Shelter Hotel, which is very ironic. Because I'm like, this is where I wanted shelter, Mama. Mm-hmm. Anyways, and when I go there, I actually have a really good time, and I love it there. I have a great time, and I wear their merch every once in a while. We have their puffy jackets and random bags that we got there. That was really fun.
A plate.
Yep, a plate. Carrie has a plate.
And it's just the thing, like Mama Shelter, like, I don't know. It's so ironic. I love how ironic it is. Mama Shelter Hotel. And it's this hipster, fun little bougie, fun little whatever hotel. But yeah, that's where I was born. And a lot of Sea Org members were I wasn't the only child born there. There were other children, like 5 or 10. I'm maybe more, but I do know 5 or 10 other cadets that were born there as well. Candy's Life, comment for Laura. You have me hooked on Little Red Radio. Fuck yeah. I was just listening to Little Red Radio with Ashley the other day, and she was like so hypnotized by the beats and the music. She was like, whoa, this shit is cool. Like, she was just vibing out with me. Fucking awesome. Thank you, Little Red Radio. Yeah. Yeah, go listen to it. Little Red Radio coming out your speakers, blasting out loud. Let me allow one thumb to the crowd as I decide, man. I fly so high, I'm like Superman, and I drop the bomb. Okay, it sounds shitty now, but when you hear the song,
it doesn't sound shitty.
Come on my hand. Let us believe that this political theory. Okay, anyways. Okay, Pearl Snappy. I'm feeling stressed. I have off tomorrow and I have off Tuesday. I need to hang out with the boo-boo. So I'm going to hang out with the boo, but maybe he'll be also very excited for us to do this. So I will definitely
work
do
on
it because we need to do it. We're doing it. In fact, we need to finish it tomorrow or whatever. Anyways, I'll figure it out. Thank you for the reminder. I love you. So Liz, can I ask you one more before we end this thing? If Nora's not going to come up, and if Scott I wanted Scott to come up, but maybe he's busy.
He's doing his thing. I love that he was blasting.
Okay, Nora's not coming up. She's so funny. She's like, I don't have a bra on. She's so funny.
That's when you say, so what? Let's do like a braless stream and start throwing them
I don't have a bra on and I'm in my gym jams. It's bad time. The kids have school tomorrow. So yeah, she's good. No, this is good because we need to do our own Nora. I need to do my own one-on-one with Nora. That's a for sure.
Good.
But Scott, Ant-Man, you're more than welcome to jump up if you're here. If not, then I'm glad we did this. But I wanted to ask about, is it okay if we talk about just answering from when you were 9 years old, what happened from Gold Base? Because Bob was at Gold Base. Your mom, you then at 9 years old, right, were told that you have to go to
with my grandma.
Right, your grandma.
My grandma was on her way to come get me.
Right. Okay, and then where was the state, or where were you guys when you went with your grandma?
My grandma drove all night until we got back to Citrus Heights in her house.
Where's Citrus Heights?
Citrus Heights is just outside of Sacramento.
Okay. And
it's
then
one of the little
30 minutes from our house.
Suburbs.
Oh, cute. Okay. And then you were there for how long?
I was there for 3 years, and then my mom and I moved out. And then,
your mom and you? What do you mean? So your mom left the Sea Org?
My mom left the Sea Org about 7 months after
you
I
moved
got
to
out.
Your grandma?
Yeah.
And
all
then,
of a sudden, my Aunt Cindy,
let's rewind. So you're at your grandma, who's not very like inviting.
Who doesn't like me,
right? And then
definitely doesn't like me.
and then your mom, and then you get a phone call or something. What happened?
Oh, no, well, kind of. So what basically happens is, I'm living with my grandma. I haven't talked to my mom. I don't know when I'm going to talk to her. I don't even know if I'm going to see her again. I just know that I'm stuck. And then all of a sudden I get a phone call, and it's my Aunt Cindy's husband. And she fell, she hurt her back. She's in the hospital. She's having emergency surgery. I hand the phone to my grandma.
Okay.
And then my grandma's like, okay, we're heading to Modesto because Cindy broke her back. I didn't know what broke her back means. And let's be realistic. When I'm thinking someone just broke their back, I'm thinking someone just broke like a matchstick.
Right.
Okay. So I was expecting to see my aunt like on a trifle.
Yeah.
And so
not funny, but yes.
Yes, because I saw everything in literal terms.
Right. Me too. At yeah.
And so then all of a sudden,
Like when they said, "Oh, your grandma is dying," I was like, "Oh, yeah." Anyways, yeah.
But
so then the only reason though, this is what is fucking irritating me, and always your story's gonna trigger me, but also give me healing in a weird, fucked up way. So the only reason at this moment that you're getting a phone call, this is what pisses me off, Liz, right? Is because another family member of some sort is going through something, right? Your mother, but you're being told by another family member that your mother, something happened with her and she's in the hospital.
No, my Aunt Cindy was in the hospital. Okay. And then because my Aunt Cindy was in the hospital, is your mom's sister.
Okay, so close.
Not my aunt. She's my mom's sister.
No, but close enough that it's why your mom is involved. That's why I was like, why was your mom allowed to get back involved in your life when she already spit you out to your unwanted grandma?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, because my Aunt Cindy broke her back so badly, they didn't think she was going to walk again. All of a sudden, my grandma's like, "Oh, we're going to get your mom. We're going to go pick her up. You're going to get to see your mom." And I'm like,
well, I don't want to see her.
Like,
right?
Are we going back home? Like, this kind of sucks. Like, am I
joining the org again?
Well, at that point, you know, as weird as it's going to sound, I wanted to go back there. I wanted my friends back.
Oh, you wanted normalcy. Right. Yeah, back to however you knew it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then your mom is coming. She's not. It's the opposite. She's leaving the Sea Org, kind of.
She's leaving the Sea Org.
And now you and grandma are taking care of mom?
No, we're taking care of my Aunt Cindy.
Hospital. Oh, sorry, Aunt Cindy. And you're going to the hospital?
We're spending all day at the hospital helping take care of my Aunt Cindy.
Do you see your mom there?
No, I saw her roughly like 3 or 4 days later. I was sleeping and all of a sudden I got woken up by my mom saying, "Oh, I'm here." I'm
like to see Cindy?
Yeah.
And then she was going to go back, right? Because that's what they do. She says, "I'm here and I'm here with my sister."
Yep. And we're back. We're a family again. We're a big giant family again.
Did she say that?
Yeah, she said we're going to be a family again. And I thought we were going home.
Like home meaning back to the Sea Org?
Yeah.
Or back to the blue building or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, so then she said we're going to be family again, and then you're like, "Oh, okay, cute." Like, "Oh, good." Like maybe she did some auditing and she feels better.
I was just surprised that she remembered me, to be completely honest.
Okay, yeah, that's what I mean. You're feeling like, "Oh, this is weird closeness," or whatever she's doing. So then after that hospital visit, what happens?
We stayed and took care of my Aunt Cindy until she started to walk again, and then we found out that her husband had actually broken her back on purpose.
Okay. Wow.
So then my Aunt Cindy came
this whole time though, are you and your mom now living together when she says, "Hi, we're going to be family again," or whatever?
She's promising that she's going to be she's promising she's going to be the mom that she always wanted to be, but it's not what happened.
Right. Okay. So I'm just.
So what did happen?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. So we've walked you all the way from 9 years old to here and saw the shuffle a little bit, right? So then what did happen from the hospital visit of you? Kind of what happened from you being like, "Oh, hey, mom," to also seeing Cindy, like being there, right? I don't know. How do you feel at this point? How do you feel at this point in your life? Like during that time, how are you feeling?
I was scared. I was scared that she was going to go back to what she was doing.
To see your mom or Cindy? Both.
Cindy. I was scared that I was going to end up like Cindy.
Oh, okay. 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 And so then your mom is saying, I'm staying, right? And then what happens from there?
All of the abuses that happened before continued happening.
After that, from you're
They
10
just
years
started
old?
over.
You were like 10? Sorry, how old were you?
No, the first time I remember I was like 6 or 7.
No, but at this point from the hospital, like from the point when she's like, hi, we're going to be family again. You're 10. So then she leaves. So is she technically leaving the Sea Org, right?
Yeah, she
had already left the Sea Org. And for what reason? She had medical something to deal with?
She got in massive trouble and told that she was going to go to the RPF because of
why
what
she get in massive trouble? Why? What?
She beat the tar out of me in Florida and got caught.
By child services?
No, by another Sea Org member.
But so I'm just trying to be clear on this. She was basically told you could be a legal liable threat to Scientology because you beat the shit out of your daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to move you from Clearwater
back to LA.
To LA. Wow. Yep. Okay. So then how old are you at this time when she's going to go back to LA?
I was 8 when we went back to LA.
And then 8, you're back in LA. And then what's happening because didn't you say by like 9 years old, you had to make a choice on where you were going?
At 9 years old. Well, no, she didn't give me a choice. I begged to go live with my dad.
And she was
I
like,
begged
that's
to
not
call
happening.
And she was like, that's not happening.
That's not happening.
You know, your grandma is on her way to pick you up and you're going with your grandma. You know?
Okay.
I tried to call Molly. I was like, come on. Just let me go say goodbye to Molly. Let me go say goodbye to Sasha.
Yeah.
Let me.
So then, and you weren't allowed to say bye to anybody.
Nope.
And I keep remembering like kind of that tap or whatever, like go, like, yeah, well, I'll see you later or whatever, like, or not see you later, just kind of like sending you off. You on
tap
your way.
on the window and shut the door.
Yep. Okay, so then from there, where are you at 10, 11, and 12 and all that?
So after my Aunt Cindy was starting to be a little better and decided that she wasn't going to leave her husband because he will never do that to her ever again.
Yeah.
We went back to my grandma's where my mom and grandma proceeded to argue every single day.
You left from where though to go do that? Where did
we were staying in Modesto to take care of my Aunt Cindy.
Okay.
And then we went back to Citrus Heights.
Okay. So then you're there with your mom and Aunt Cindy, right?
And Cindy stayed.
Oh, sorry, with your mom and
my grandma.
And it's not good because they're just always arguing. Are they arguing about you or just arguing
about how fat I was?
Again? Okay, that's one of the things, or were they arguing about a bunch of shit?
No, a lot of the time they would argue about how fat I was.
Wow. So your
mom,
my
grandma would tell me I need to be on a diet. My mom
would blame your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Your grandma would be blaming your mom for how fat you were.
Yep.
And then your mom would say you're fine.
Yeah.
You're not fat.
Nope.
And then how long did you live with them like this? From how long? Like what age did you move or do something different?
At 13, I got sent to live with my Aunt Cindy.
Again?
Yeah, but it was just me. I got sent to live with my Aunt Cindy because I got expelled from middle school.
But so Cindy was the one that was she like sick or something that you guys were visiting earlier, right?
She's all better by not all better because she still has rods in her back, but
right. She healed, so she's fine. Yeah. And so then you go to Cindy, and is Cindy somebody you like or somebody that you seem to have?
It was basically more of a abusive. You have no choice.
Do what I say.
you need to be here because you keep getting in trouble.
And you're lucky to be here.
You're lucky to get this opportunity.
Yeah, you're on eggshells.
Yeah, you're on thin ice.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then how long did that last for?
That lasted for a year and a half. And then I moved in with my mom.
In Sacramento? Same area?
Folsom, California, yeah.
Okay. And when did you move in with your mom?
I want to say 14.
Whoa. When did you come out to your mom? As being
I didn't come out to my mom until I was in my 20s.
Okay, but you were living there the whole time?
Yeah, because I tried telling her I was gay once, and she said it was a phase.
You'll get through this. Just work it out. It's like a muscle.
No, it was more like, I think there's something wrong with me. I kind of like girls. And she's like, it's because you're not wearing dresses.
Does she remember? Have you had that conversation where you're like, Mom, remember when I talked to you about this?
Uh-huh.
And what did she say?
It was just a phase.
But like, do you say, Mom, do you realize that I'm gay and it's not a phase now?
Well, now she realizes it, but it took.
And she loves the fuck out of me.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, Carrie. So I'm like, she's eventually gonna have to realize that the horrible idea and the frame of mind that she had of gay is the beautiful things that she's living and taking care of.
Mm-hmm.
So bad, the gay.
We're horrible people. Horrible.
Okay, should we take some start things? I just wanted to break everybody down from your 9 years because that was intense. I don't care what if nobody else thought it was fucking intense when you told me the fucking fact that you still don't know where you were really legally born, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of that.
Yeah, we still don't know.
It's like so crazy. And also, but it makes sense to me. I'm like, yeah, I didn't get my Social Security till 8 years old. I got in trouble. I got a big yank on the arm. Get in line. They've been calling you for the last hour. And I was like, what? And they were saying Anderson, Lara, and I was waiting for Megan.
Right?
I was like, Anderson, they should have called me.
I didn't know my middle name until I was like 8 or 9 years old.
But I also didn't know that they would there's a possibility that they would take your middle name, Lara, Megan Anderson, or Lara, however they wanted to say it on the loudspeaker that I didn't understand it. Like, you could say the full name, especially if you're at a Social Security office. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too childish. I don't know. But maybe you should say, is Lara Anderson? Is it a Laura Anderson? Lara Megan Anderson? Like, anyways, the truth is the fucking dumb, responsible teachers, the adults at the ranch should have been like, that's you. Sorry, you don't know your name, but we do. We see your shit. Like, that's the thing. They had no fucking idea. So it was like the blind, leading the blind. We were being spanked eventually by a chick named Renee Berther. And she was 19 years old. She only became an adult because she was the age of 18 and 19. Not because she had the fucking education at all. In fact, I don't know, she had a reading disability or whatever. I have a lot of anger and remorse still in my mind. I think of her as an evil human being. And I feel bad for that because she was raised in this Scientology cadet org shit. But I also know that she eventually became like just at times very nurturing to the kids. Like, we were braiding her hair and having fun. And then sometimes she would be the most evilest fucking person in the world. And I don't think anyways, now I'm going off on my own things, but
no, I love it.
Keep going. Yeah,
she was fucking evil crazy. But I'm like, now that I've learned therapy and things and I'm dealing with shit and learning my own shit of what I don't like, I'm like, why is that? Why are certain things bring me back to her and that moment of what I'm feeling? And like anger of somebody who doesn't know better. Like, I'm like, why would you do that? Because they didn't know better. Like, why am I so annoyed with not just having that as my answer? They didn't know better, Lara. Like, I feel so annoyed. Yeah. So I don't know.
I'm hoping one day I'm going to get used to the idea of being able to be loved. Because there's times that it's like,
Oh my God.
have you ever noticed that?
Hold on.
Okay, so I'll just say it. So there's times that I have a hard time connecting with just love. Like
Sorry,
Carrie will
hold
say,
on.
I'll say, I love you, Carrie.
Yell at me.
And she'll say, nobody's yelling at you. Calm down.
They said nobody's yelling at you. Calm down. I didn't know if you heard him. I double lock. I locked the top lock, and the key is so hard. So I was like, "Oh shit! I have to unlock the top."
But for me, it's like,
baby.
Sometimes when she says "I love you," I have to get her to say it again. Not
Carrie?
that I didn't hear her the first time. Yeah,
Carrie?
but it's like I have
No, I just want to hear it. Right? You're saying I just want to hear it. I want to hear it because it feels so good to hear when you know it's real and true. You're just like, if you're doing something random, you're like, no, I just want to hear it. I just want to hear it. Yeah.
She'll be busy doing something, and I'm just like,
Scott is really good at that. Like, he's very much like, oh, babe, I just wanted to let you know. Like, this random thing. Sometimes I'm like, it's annoying. I'm being grumpy in my world, like, whatever. But then I'm like, later, I'm like, oh, that's so nice that he did that because, like, I never got that. And that's so nice to remember it later because you never had memories of that. Like,
I don't
have the random I love yous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember getting
the random I love yous. I never got. You know what? I
got
would
the I
get
love
it.
yous when I would
get, babe, can you give me my last little booch? It's in the fridge. He's so cute. Hi, honey. He just came in. He's so cute. I think his phone died because I was trying to invite him up on the stream. Babe, I was trying to invite you on the stream.
I know. I came in when Serge was up there. You were crying. I'm like, no,
oh, okay. He did. He was like, he
saw
watching.
Tears. He's like, nope, I'm
he
out.
Was watching me when that was and Serge is thick. You know, Serge is thick in certain areas.
Yeah,
we're all thick in certain areas, and then
just,
there's certain things that you got me when you tell. I was like, God knows. Scott knows how I feel when I'm all sensitive. You got me too, Liz. You know, Liz knew. And Serge knows too, but we're tough with each other. Oh, me and Serge are tough with each other. We are deep, good friends. We don't fuck around.
Hey, that's the best part is like finding real people. And I will honestly say, you know, for me, it was so unique to find like Pearl. And I know Pearl's in the
love
comments.
Pearl. Pearl is Pearl knows.
But
Pearl's a shit.
Oh, you did a squishy face.
You're not supposed to be in the screen. You're supposed
You
to
did
go
a squishy face.
I go over here. Hold on, I'll be right back.
They're so cute.
Right?
What's a squishy face when I grab the cheeks?
When you do a squishy face, you do.
Like, it's cute.
Yeah, it's a squishy face.
My big beard.
Because,
you can turn that light on.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
We didn't have like growing up.
Never had that.
People say, "Oh, didn't you get love?" I got love from my nana. I got a lot of love from my nana, but I didn't. Growing up, I did not hear "I love you."
And no, did you get love? No, honestly, really didn't. And the love I did get, believe you me, I am holding on to because I think I love my parents that much. Like the love I got was obsessive. Literally, even Mitch Brisker talks about the fact that when ranch cadets or children came, which we wouldn't, he doesn't understand this. We weren't children. We were just like, oh, look at this theta big man. We aren't kids. We're not allowed to be kids. So he's going, oh, look at all these deprived children that just needed attention. They just seem like we fucking did need attention, Mitch. Why are you not diving into that more? Why are you not going, why was this normal? Why did you normalize the fact that fucking 20 or plus kids were everywhere you went when you walked along the whole base? We're always like, hi, Mitch, on the corner. Oh, hi, Mr. Brisker. Oh, like, why do you think? That's not normal. Kids don't, when you go to a school and there's a director that like the kids, we didn't even know who the we didn't know what the fuck a director was. Okay. First of all, we just knew he was the main guy on those films that we all watch from Golden Era Productions, and the Golden Era Productions of the golden age of tech, and everything's perfect.
Yep.
So like, we didn't understand the concept of a director or movies or fake or it's not real. Kids don't understand. That's why kids can't consent. Kids don't understand sometimes differences of movies and real life. That is like, if you have a kid watching movies all the time and the same fucking thing, they're going to think that is actually real life. That's a very normal thing. So like all age kids were going through this, and Mitch Brisker was making films. One of the films was made, multiple films were made at the Int Ranch. How to Set Up a Session, that African film that everybody watches with the goats, and hey, how to set up, squeeze your cans, please, with the doll. That was all built at the Int Ranch, set up by Gold Bay staff and children, cadets.
Gross.
And then who broke it all down? Children and cadets from the Int Ranch, Cadet Org. Yes, we built all that shit. We thought it was so cool. It was the funnest project ever. It made us,
because it wasn't digging a ditch.
It wasn't fucking digging a ditch or scrubbing the dumpsters or fire breaks in the middle of the heat. That was the number one. Fire breaks, digging trenches, planting trees. And actually, we love planting trees in the middle of heat because somehow we felt connected in the shade because we were putting a tree with shade in the thing. So we had some shade planting trees. Trust me, we would literally be like, okay, I'm not going to do this section of the trench right now. I have a 10-foot target and it's like dry fucking mud, like dry mud clay. So we have to dig trench. There were certain parts that were easy, certain parts that were rock hard. We had to dig trenches through everything, right? By hand. Mm-hmm. And I remember going, it is so hot right now. I'm going to leave that dry part until the sun goes down, but I'm going to do the soft. I'm going to do all the softer part and I'll leave the hard part till the end. I remember doing this as digging trenches. Like, hey, this is the best way to, just make sure you're on target. You're on schedule. Like even digging the trench. Okay, you're done digging trenches by 5:30, then 5:30 to 6, you got to clean up, get ready for muster and then dinner.
For muster. Yep. And then roll call.
Every second, everything you're doing is planned for the next thing. You're not like, so yes, when we say our childhood was stripped away, it was stripped the fuck away in every degree. There's not even holding memories is so random. That's why our memories and our storytelling is so random. Oh, what a childhood.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Groovy Witch.
You're both amazing women. Sorry for everything you went through. Gay, straight, or whatever. Who the F cares? You're loved.
Thank you. It feels good to be loved. Will you still love me when I'm a piece of shit and I say horrible things?
Yes.
Always.
Very well. I feel that. And Liz, I do feel that. Yes. I know they will love me even when I'm a psycho bitch.
But yes, Corn Freak, I will, with therapy, I've also learned to check in with Carrie. That way, if I don't understand something or if I'm starting to see something different in my head, I'll check in just to be like, hey, these are the thoughts I'm having right now.
And for the blind and the people who can't read, it was a comment from Corn Freak that says, it makes sense that you need to check in with yourself to make sure you are still you after not being allowed to know who you are for so long. This literally for me is so fucking important. And you know what's great? Being with Scott, one thing, like talk about love. I've never had a love like his where when I very much clearly just say like, I need my space. He never goes, why? He never like stops me. He never goes like, are you kidding? He's literally like, okay, I'm out. Like, he's like, oh, I don't want to be, I don't know if that's good or bad, but he checks out real quick. And he's like, if she said that, I'm out. Like, if I fucking say that, it's to a point where something is triggering me in my space where I don't feel like I can just relax and have even just an hour to myself. And that makes me feel insane. If like, even if you go to jail, you have a fucking hour to yourself, kind of, you know, in your own space. So like, you know, like, yeah, I'm not the normal girlfriend. I'm probably amazing in so many fields, but like, I'm sure there's parts where I'm so difficult, and I'm so sorry to him for that. But like at the same
love
time,
is unconditional.
yeah. And
That's something new for you.
And all of us though.
Yeah,
it's new in a man that I'm with in a sexual, loving, hot relationship, you know, because I was always like, it always felt like I'm a good girlfriend. So like, I was just like relying on the man to do something wrong, you know? And that's the truth. It kind of always has kind of been that.
Yeah. Well, now it's not, because now you got someone that loves you and loves all of you.
Yeah, and not even like the last person did anything sexually but it was something where it was a trust thing where I was like, I cannot believe literally. I mean, other things happened, but I was just like, there was something that I was just like, see, that's what I do need in a relationship, is the need of that would never be an issue. Like, it's just, it's there or it's not. Or it's there, but yes, you have a tremendous insecurity about this thing. Cool. I got you. I will protect it. But if you can't speak about it and you have to go around my well-being and even me, just being me and having fun, then that's crazy. That's useless. Don't be with me. I'm so useful for being open and the person that I am. So like, and it reminded me of childhood stuff where it was like, I couldn't just say how I felt, or I couldn't, or I was so stuck to an idea or an ideology of like, oh, this is the person I want and da, da, da. And then when I actually get like sweet love, I'm like, oh my God, this is so nice. Like, I am so strong in certain areas, but what I get from real love is so nice. It like de-exhausted me, you know?
Yep.
I don't know. Anyways. And it's so fun. And you can be like, I don't give a fuck. I feel like an ugly fuck today. And they're like, well, you look beautiful or whatever. Like, you know, whatever it is. And then you're like, okay, well, even you saying that is annoying. And then like, okay. And I seen you.
It's annoying, but thank you.
Yes, it's annoying, but thank you. Yes, thank you. I don't feel that way. And I want you to know, like, don't say, and they just know, like, Liz, you know, like, I'm not going to say anything else because it'll annoy the fuck out of her, because anything I say, she's not going to hear it. But at least I said it, and it's there on.
I tell her she's beautiful.
It's on the plateau of her tray of judgment of herself. Also, you're beautiful. Yep. You just sprinkle a little sprinkle on all that.
Yep, just sprinkle a little. You're beautiful in there.
Just oh, by the way, from
and then
Liz,
she'll be like, okay, that's enough. I'm like, you're still beautiful though. I love you.
It's so cute, you guys.
Everybody needs glitter.
Everybody needs a little sparkle, even on their poo.
True. Some people need a lot of sparkle on their poo.
You just need a little sparkle on the poo. Okay, go ahead. Maureen, hi, honey. Question: around the corner from me, they moved into small church. There's 5 people in gold vests. What could they doing? What could they doing? Gold vest reminds me, I think, of the staff or Sea Org members. So pardon me, I have allergies like crazy. And in fact, they kind of calm down.
Afrin.
Tell me about that Afrin. I know,
Afrin.
I hear her. Her cute voice pierces right through. Hi, witch. Hi, witch share. We love you. We hug you. You are a brave. I was gonna say siestral. Anyways, whatever.
Celestial.
Yes, celestial. Well, yeah, the stars. What's the whole? Oh, I have allergy. Auntie M, am I reading or you, Liz? I feel I know you like when I read the comments because you love it.
Yeah, because y'all had constant false promises. It's a miracle you trust anyone with the brain and eyes these days. You have come so far with no help from your parents. And my mom has made a dramatic difference. Like, my mom's not the same person. She still has her moments, but you know, she's not the same person, just like I'm not the same person. And
I feel
Gary
like
would
you're
never let that happen to me.
I think your mom, even though you probably don't see it as much as probably I do or somebody, the fact that she's even in the situation and position where she's put herself around you means that there's still this underlying rooted mother-daughter connection. Even if you hate me, bitch, I'm still here. You know, like
stuck with me.
And I don't have that. I don't even have the fuck you, mom. Fuck you. I wish I don't know. For some reason, I wish I did. Just so I could see what would happen if my mom saw me with a child, you know? I don't know. Certain things. I don't know. Certain things. Like, I don't like even your mother seeing you be in love with another woman and her having children who are amazing. Like, I think your mom respects you even more for that. I don't know. It's almost something your mom could never do in her generation. And look at you.
Yeah.
Even if your mom wanted to have that choice, she can't have that choice in her generation, but she's seen you do it. And somehow your family, you know, and your neighbor's a little fucking homophobe, but whatever, you're still here happy doing your shit, you know? It's true. It's true.
Question. Why were you kids, I think it's supposed to be forced to dig trenches? In other words, what was the intended use for those trenches? Could be anything. Could be you were in trouble, so a trench was your responsibility to dig. It could be that they were going to put plumbing down there. It could be that they were going to put sprinkler systems in.
And then for us at the Int Ranch, it was, I don't know if you had this, Liz, but we had to take, like, the cadets were responsible for the whole property. The adults were just there to supervise as the executives of the organization. It was still built like an organization. So the cadets were there. We were the ones taking care of the plant. Like, everybody had jobs, posts, job positions where it was like gardening, PVC IC, which was the, you know, fixing broken pipes and shit. They were the ones who fixed all broken pipes, drainage, things like that. The provender IC, the cleaning IC, the cleaning secretary, which was my sister, who folded everybody's laundry and labeled their t-shirts. Everything was, it was not okay if your sock did not have your initials on it. Because how dare they know that you own a piece of fucking laundry or clothing item that on the tag it didn't have your initials on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to them knowing every detail of your life. I break it down to that. I break it down to even my underwear had MA. That meant Melissa Sutter, which was an S, or Megan Anderson. MA, me. And my sister was the services secretary, so she knew who the fuck MA was.
Yeah.
But we all went by initials. On marking anything, it was very, anyways. It just seems so unnatural. It seems it would be beautiful if it was in the nature and everything was beautiful. And it sounds like beautiful as an organizing. Like if I had a big family and I all of a sudden had like 8 children or something, it would be such a great, beautiful way that I would literally mark all their clothes so I wouldn't fucking mix shit up. Because maybe some of them like certain clothes that both of them like. But having the choice of not, and just the structure of the initials being only because this goes in dorm 9 for this child, not child, right? I'm just
adult.
Getting brainwashed or unprogrammed to remember that we never were allowed to say children. I feel guilty saying because we were children. I'm like, no, you weren't just a child. You knew more. You knew better. It's even hard for me to say we were just children. I'm like, we were children, but we knew more. No, we actually knew way the fuck less.
Yeah.
That's the fucking truth. We knew minus 50.
Yeah. I didn't know that it was wrong to do.
You didn't know you could go to child services, Liz. You didn't know there was an outside whole law that actually overpowered Scientology. You did not know that.
No. And then once I did find out about them, they were a joke.
Scientology became a fucking joke. And that's why we go to court and fucking rip Moxon a fucking display of exposing him being a fucking total lying piece of shit that tries to think that he's so brilliant at what he's done for so long, lying about Scientology and putting people into corrupt positions where they feel like they have to make a negotiating deal. And then it looks like Scientology won. No.
But now we've got people like Scotty that win from Moxon and hand Moxon the truth.
Well, not Moxon, the judge. The judge handed Moxon the truth.
True. But it was still fun to at least hear part of the story from DOA. Like,
no, but DOA put all that shit together. Like, and that's the thing. That's why I'm also like, oh my God, somebody understanding as we're protesting, learning things like, holy shit, this is where we need to go. This is who the person is that's creating all this havoc for people protesting to expose Scientology. It's in the court systems because they bring it legal. They bring it, you know, and you never realize that being a Sea Org member child inside of Scientology. You never think about it that way. Now you're going, oh my God, this is how, not only by money, but how they had leverage over even children who were threatened, like, oh my God, they could put me in jail. And that's how they do it with people. Look at Josiah, who is literally like, I'm going to go fuck Scientology, it's a cult. And then all of a sudden they're like adding things to shit. Like he was just coming out of his own life, trying to be a man, like coming into his own world. And they're like trying to tell, like, where can we attack him the most? Where can we make it hurt so he never protests Scientology again? It's like, no way. And then you have fucking loser Moxon, who's literally lost now four or five cases within the last 3 months or less, fighting against protesters, like trying to get protesters to like fucking make a plea deal. Nope. No. We are the kids, Liz and Serge and us and the people supporting the children that would have supported us had we been fucking 8-year-olds telling them right now today. In fact, it would have been louder if it came today, right? From us as 8 years old. So here we are finally owning our voice 10, 20, 15 years later, but whatever, we're doing it. And it's fucking making an impact.
Whenever we can own our own voice and actually hear, yes, this happened to us, it wasn't okay, and know that we're not going to let someone repeat that.
In any way, like, not
like
through a little bit of a touch assist or a TR's drilling, or not through any like paid, oh, I'm going to have a private auditor in a field audit you before you even go into the org, so don't worry. No, auditing is disgusting. L. Ron Hubbard, witchcraft, alterations of abuse should fucking literally be used, like should be blacklisted as not appropriate for kids under the age of 21. Because 18,
hold on, I'm going to let you take over for a second, okay?
Okay, I'm going to take over.
Yep.
But Carrie or somebody still has to start fun things for me to look at.
Oh,
okay.
they're there.
Okay, but I can see them, but I can't bring them up.
I know. There's one right there.
There was never, Auntie M says there was never intention for the ditches. They were forced to dig. It's a form to torture to further. Okay, so let me answer that though. There was intention, and yes, they definitely had children doing all the work to show them harder jobs compared to lighter jobs. They definitely would make certain parts of the cadet org handle like the, you know, provender and picking the vegetables and cleaning them and prepping them for the gold base, compared to the out ethics cadets, who were in all ages. It could have been a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old or a 15, 16-year-old. Like, you would still be in the governance group if you did something that they thought was enough to put you in the out ethics group, which means that would depend on the work you do. So if you were in the out ethics group, in the governance group, you would be doing more gruesome work like fire breaks in the heat or whatever, you know, in the rain pouring, it doesn't matter, building sandbags. You would be doing gruesome work like scrubbing the dumpster, getting the thick cake of maggots and the shit off with a spatula, literally, maybe a flathead shovel, maybe a pickaxe. I mean, anything that would break into the clumpiness of the dumpster getting so thick and full from all the fucking trash and juices and shit that would just be thrown into the dumpster.
Yep, and don't forget the scrub brush that looked like an iron to get in the crevices.
Oh, yeah. To get in. Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking about that the whole time. And I'm like, oh, I'm ordering brushes off of Amazon that have like all these tools. I'm like, we did not have any of those fancy fucking brushes. We just had the iron scrub brush. Get in there and get in there, period. Here's the toothbrush. If we're making it gruesome, because they would make, there's certain levels of mesh work that you would do. If you were complete, like if you did a high crime or something so out of ethics, they would make you do gruesome work. So they would make you do things that, like, they would make you clean that dumpster out with a toothbrush instead of a spatula, or like something that would scrub those corners out easily.
Yep. Or you would get maggot duty, and a lot of time it was the reason it was called maggot duty in Florida is because you would have to like pick them up, and they would give you like a set of gloves to pick them up. But after a while, the gloves would start to disintegrate.
Literally.
And then the maggots would be on your fingers.
And then eventually you would get your TRs in, right? No, how many times were we told get your TRs in?
Oh, I'd be crying hysterically when the maggots were on my skin.
Yep. And so would the other cadets around me. And then I would be the tough one that would eventually be able to pick it all up with my hands. And I would just get the job done. And then I would wash my hands after with bleach and whatever chemicals they had in the dishwashing right there.
Yeah.
That was the norm of a cadet at the Enrich.
It was that way in Florida.
Did you ever, at any point, get at muster time, if you were late or whatever, did you ever get the cold dunk? Or were you on time with your, like...
Oh, I was on time. I'm still on time.
Because you were afraid of the cold dunk. I was afraid of
terrified of everything.
Ice water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you said you were terrified of everything.
I was terrified that they were going to tell my mom. I was
Right.
terrified that I was not going to finish a course fast enough, and then I was going to get kicked out. I was terrified of getting kicked out, or not being welcome in the group.
Yep. Then did you have pigs birthing or the governess group at all?
No, I stayed with my mom.
Okay. And this is interesting because, see, these were things I was always threatened. Not just me, but children were always threatened with. Governess group, declared, non-interpolation order, RPF's RPF, cadets RPF. And then, so did you ever was being declared ever like a cloud over your head?
Yeah. When I would constantly be like, where's my dad? Because at first my dad was at Bridge.
So your dad,
I would just walk over there.
This is so interesting. Your dad, before he went to Gold Base, was at Bridge?
Correct.
So was my father. So was my father. That's right.
Right
across the way. So was my father. And obviously my brother and sister were older than me, so they knew about all that. But I remember not too long before, even when my dad finished the RPF after getting demoted from Gold Base, he was put on a private, like, Bridge, a men's, like not a project, but I think he was doing it for amends from the RPF. They didn't know where to put him. They were like not sure where to put him. And so they put him in Bridge Publications to just a helper to like revamp some shit. But it was to basically handle RPEC when they repair past ethics from a post he didn't handle in the 80s when he was in the Bridge Publication. Like some bullshit where we were like, oh, this is why you've been messing up on your post and flirting with other women when you were forced to not see your wife at Gold Base for 10 years. And then we sent you to the RPF under David Miscavige's orders.
Not bitter and hostile, not at all.
No. I'm mad and angry also that my own father doesn't see this shit. I'm very angry about that. I'm very fucking annoyed at him about the fact that I see that as a younger person and he does not see that.
No.
I don't know. Anyways, yeah. Auntie M is coming up with all of this, huh?
Right?
Yes, kids are only aware of what they are exposed to via visual and verbal education. So anything outside of what you've seen and experienced is not applicable to children under certain ages. Exactly. Auntie M.
It's all pretty ding 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 ding.
Hey, that's the Lara drum. Hi, Marine. Again, Liz and Lara and Serge and Nora sent you all trauma support bracelets in the mail to you all. Thank you. Made in London, England. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That's so nice. Oh.
We shall wear them when they come.
I do wear bracelets. Oh, as my watch is off, I took it off.
I muted, but I do too, but not when I'm caregiving or doing assistant work too much because I think it's so annoying. Trying to wash your hands so much like bracelets, you're like, ew, it just feels like more germs. So you take everything off and then it's just simple. It's like, hi, clean, get away. Bye. Too fucking cute. Wait, go back. I like that.
You just fucked that up.
Okay.
Me?
No, I did it.
Liz did.
I was like, I have no control over that.
Was so cute.
It was cute. It said effing to be so polite. FKing. Fucking. Yeah. All right, fine. Let's continue it.
Here's one.
Barbara. Liz.
It's beautiful that both of your hearts are open for love after everything. There's a lot of love to be felt. I hope so.
I was going to say the same thing because before we started doing this online stuff with our chat and everything, we didn't have this love. That's all there is to it. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I have never had the amount of support and love that I have for leaving Scientology and talking about my family and childhood experience as I do now than I've ever had in my whole life, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Like even quadruple 90%.
Yep.
Like 90% full. Like it's done more than I've ever imagined.
Yeah. Love and happiness are Jared Neal. Love and happiness are two levels. Now that you found love, focus on making each other happy. Absolutely.
You better focus, Liz.
Get it right. You better make me happy.
Carrie,
love.
Carrie, you better stay in love with Liz and focus on making her happy.
I do.
She does. She absolutely does. We have the greatest communication because I can tell her what's
M
going
again. Auntie M. Sorry.
This one
Okay.
is
Yes.
cute.
Greatest communication. Stop. I interrupted. You have the greatest communication with Carrie because she always fucking knows you, right? She knows what's going on.
And then when she gets into her little staring off into La La Land, I can be like, babe, what project are you planning right now? I just need to know.
And sometimes I say, I'm not. I'm just staring off into space.
Yes.
Yeah. Just having a little La La Land moment.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to pull out the La La Land sticker, but I didn't want to get too distracted.
Okay, hold on. Next one.
Guys, if you have any questions about what me and Liz had talked about on the other episodes about, oh, what a childhood, please put them in now. And you don't have to put a chat in or anything to ask it. Just put like Grim Adams did, questions so that Carrie can easily see it, or me or Liz can see it easily and just pull it up. I feel like I want to also, before we end, remind me, Carrie, please, and Liz, to talk about the bride, the dresses, and the court case of the childhood thing coming up.
Yes.
Tuesday. We want to do a whole early morning protest. And so I want to talk about that. But I want to stay focused quickly on our childhood and
There's
just
only
answer
5 questions.
Perfect. And just answer. And there may be more as we talk and answer these. And feel free, anybody, ask questions now. We want so that when we go on to part 3, or I'm sorry, part 4, we can talk about things that me and Liz have been really wanting to bring up that are specific things. So right now we want to ask any questions that are open, like that have been like, hey, what did you, whatever it is, like, why didn't you do this? Or was this normal where you, like, whatever the random questions are, this is when to do it. Carrie's going to star them. And then we're going to chill the fuck out. And then we're going to do part 4 probably very soon. Obviously, it seems like we've been doing this like every Sunday, which I really like, or whatever. It's always been a cute day, like a weekend. I like your schedule on it, Liz. So I feel like when you and Heather... Yeah, when you do, and I'm like, yep, it always works out for me. And I love it because it gives me, again, this sort of like healingness to it. Okay, so ask your questions, put questions, and then Carrie will start them. Okay, question. Grim Adams. Laura, do you still try to talk to your dad? Phil Anderson, I saw your video on your YouTube page. Do I still try to talk to him? I am always going to love my dad no matter what I've heard about him. This is the fucked up thing, right? I'm always going to love him no matter what I do hear about him in the future and then what I have heard about him already. I think as a daughter, if I'm going to give any leeway for my father to leave the Sea Org or for him to hear me be okay of why I'm protesting every day, being like, Dad, get out. We're all out here. I think as a society, as humanity, we need to let these Sea Org members and these like parents know that they didn't mean to do what they got themselves into. If they didn't mean to do that, we're giving them a chance to get out. When they come out, they got to talk about it and be open and be vulnerable. And we're here to protect that. So, yes, I'm always going to love my dad.
Yeah.
Am I going to be very aware of whether he's inept to hear the awareness and be at the awareness level of all the shit that me and Liz and all of us have been through, and we're still going through? We're going to be stronger than we are a year from now than we are today. So like, yeah, I'm sure we'll be better. Yes, we want our dads to come out. We will figure out the way to talk and deal with them when they do come out. There's always love. I would hope that I always have forgiveness no matter what it is that my dad has ever done in life, that he feels so guilty or something that he can't leave the Sea Org. I hope that I do find that forgiveness and able to give it to him. I think that I am. I think even now as I'm saying it, I'm like, of course I would be able, as long as he comes out and is already doing the work to come out and learn things on his own, then that's the fucking most important part. If you're susceptible and acceptable to hearing and learning shit and changing, and sometimes it's nasty, you know, if you're going to come in with a fucking argument and want to change somebody, you better be in it for the long haul. Like, stay there and be there with me. Don't just jump out of the chat like Cheryl did. Feral Cheryl. You don't just jump out of our chat. Come in and join us. Jump on the live stream. On our last stream, Liz. I didn't like that. I don't like that shit. Come in, join us, be real. It's as simple as that, you know? And it might sound hard and everything. No, just come on. Even if you're saying, I don't want to talk about this, but I do love you both and I understand, you know, even that, there's still connection. I don't know. Anyways, going on a tangent. But what I'm saying is that this all has taught us so much. I've learned to love my dad in I should say, like Serge, I have learned to love Phil Anderson. I know he is my father. He is my father. And I want to be able, if I can, if there's any chance or hope to be able to give him the enlightenment or the love that I've learned on my own to be a better person and a loving person, I hope that I can enlighten him with that in some way. If I get that chance, if not, all I can do is tell the world the reality, just like you are, of saying like, free him, or the society's going to be aware enough to see that they die inside the cult. They're going to see that. At least fucking, it's not just me and you or my brother, you know, suffering with it privately and quietly in our fucked up ways. Like, at least there's Liz and there's other parents that are going through the same shit, you know?
Does it, I mean, there's the part of me that feels that no matter what time he takes to come out, if he comes out, I'll be there.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's
that's
like,
how I feel.
I want him to feel what it's like to really have someone say, I love you, and be like, I love you, and for them to get it. That's what I want. I want to be able to say, I love you.
I know, but that's asking a lot, though. Because
hey, right now I ask too much when it comes to our dads.
But our dads need to know what love is, right? So they can only.
I don't think they know.
Did you know? Did I know? No, we didn't know until we met and went through all the crazy crap we've been through.
Because I've been through some relationships where I'm like, I love this, and
I love this. I'm gonna be in this forever. No.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, that's
a year later.
A drug habit.
A year later, it's a whole different fucking story.
Yeah.
Auntie M, repeat after me. I was a child and I didn't have a choice. Okay, Auntie M.
Say it out loud.
I was a child and I didn't have a choice. See?
Say it again, Liz. Say it again.
I was a child and I didn't have a choice.
It sounds good when you say it. No, but Liz, that sounds good when she says it. Say it again.
I was a child and I didn't have a choice.
That's true.
I was a child.
You were a
didn't have
child.
a choice.
Yep. Yep.
And we didn't have a choice. We didn't get to pick, you know, this.
We had to ask.
We picked our parents. And
we had to ask permission to have the choice on the choices we had.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time they're saying what you must have done to pull in being babies of Sea Org members or babies of parents that are in Scientology that are so dedicated. Maybe you were the Sea Org members in your last lifetime and now you're coming back because the Sea Org motto is we come back.
Yep, we come back.
I always thought maybe I'm waiting to go in session and recall that moment where I'm like, I signed this. I'm back.
That just gave me anxiety just hearing. I'm like, whew. Not back.
We come back.
Not back. Not back.
I did not mean to give you the anxiety, but it's the truth. We need to get over the anxiety of this. We come back. Did it do it again?
Yeah, just a skosh. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
butthole little burp, burp.
Little tighten up because for the longest time I used to think that, you know, if they got any of us alone on a sidewalk, they would take us back inside. But then it's like,
wait. What do you mean?
When I first started this, when I first started protesting, I thought if we were alone or if we were ever all by ourselves,
me too.
I thought take us back in a heartbeat.
I was afraid
and then never get out.
Totally. I was afraid to think that I would get into a good conversation trying to get somebody out. And then somehow they would pull me into a conversation while I was protesting, like to make them understand why they could see that we are crazy and that this is unacceptable.
Yep.
I'm like, oh yeah, I should be handling this a different way. It should be more like the Scientology way. That's so messed up. And I'm like, hell no. But in my brain, just like get your ethics in, just like they programmed us to have this little Lara or Megan Anderson, little Liz Ferris being like, but that's not okay. You better get your ethics in. Think about that twice. Now, is that analytical or your reactive mind talking to you?
Ugh.
Are you a loser? Oh, that's just my my reactive mind talking to me. I need a come up tone.
You know, the worst part is we have those thoughts, but then I watch someone like DOA, who is his own person. He believes what he believes, but it's like listening to him and I'm like, and he's not scared. And there's times that when he's not scared, it gives me a little bit more courage because he's like,
that's not true. Scott, I don't know if you
scared.
heard that. Liz, he watches after, but Liz was saying there's times that you're just like not scared. And I'm like, that's not true.
He's scared. He just fights through his fear.
I'm never scared.
Lie. He said, I'm never scared. Did you hear him?
Liza Minnelli.
Liza Minnelli. So yeah, no, there's times he's definitely scared. It may look like he's holding, but no, it's scary to be going up up against any group that has the authority of the law behind them as protection. And you're going up a group, a fucking organization that's specifically fucking manufactured to take down people like fucking protesters. And then all of a sudden they get this insane, weird protester for the last year practically now, babe, right? It's been a year almost that they can't get rid of him. They have put him in fucking several lawsuits that he's won, and let alone his own one that he was his own fucking lawyer against Moxon, the lawyer against Scientology, who I, as a child, was running folders, his little bitch ass calling me sir. Okay, not to be cool, but his bitch ass lawyer fucking ass that later when I got demoted, I was like, oh my God, I'm no longer a part of that superior group that I was sort of afraid of Moxon and the whole superior group of Scientology because, you know, I left the Sea Org and I left all that. And then fucking 10 years later to be in court going against it feels like my childhood. It feels like we're going against our childhood, Liz. We're saying, no, fuck you. We actually have a reason to be here in court, Moxon, and you know exactly the fuck why. Yeah. He knows exactly why. All those lawyers do. They're all of them frightened out of their ass when I was yelling at them in the fucking courthouses. When they came out of the courtroom to be respectful to the judge. I respect the fucking judges. Those judges, even if they do, you know, have misinformation or are being like manipulated whatever ways, I have respect for judges, period. But when the fucking Scientology lawyers, by the way, they have like 7 lawyers that come into the courtroom. 7 lawyers, right? For some of these cases. Okay, for the Jane Doe case against the child trafficking case, which Tuesday, I want to make this a very well-known thing. Tuesday, early morning, California, and if you're in LA, Los Angeles area, Tuesday morning, we're going early to the courthouse to protest, and we're going to be in wedding bride dresses to represent the fact that Scientology likes to pawn off young underage minors and bride them off just like, oh, we're brides. Do you remember Lisa McPherson's, Lisa Marie Presley, Priscilla's book?
Yeah, I want to read her book.
But Priscilla's book, her early one that was something bride, like, I think it's Teenage Bride or Pawn. Serge, if you're in the chat, he'll definitely know. He's been doing all kinds of talks about it. But we're basically going to show up in wedding dresses to make an outstanding point and an outstanding, like art, almost like an art show, but with all of our kids cannot consent in our wedding dresses. So y'all are welcome. Please come and join us. Child bride. Thank you. Child bride. We're going to have signs that I say, we are child brides. We are the children that were slaved away to the next man or to the next authority of Scientology. That is what a child bride is. You have no consent. Kids cannot consent. You are then sent off to an older person, somebody who knows what's going on, who knows who they didn't have this same similar situation, or maybe they did. in their age, so they know better than to be having somebody underage that has no idea or the concept of having a full life or the structure of the, even just the basic foundations of life being corrupted as they're like being forced into a marriage, or these are the only clean people that you can marry in this group. You're pawned off to this amazing guy that's going to support Scientology, this millionaire or this recruiter that has raised so much money, Gavin Potter. You know what I mean? So we're all child brides. Anybody connected to Scientology is a fucking child bride.
Yeah.
So we're doing a protest Tuesday morning. Please stay tuned in for that. We're going to be doing a whole project. Serge Del Mar, Scott, we have a bunch of people. We're all going to be wearing white, beautiful, vintage wedding dresses in your most elegant form. Please join us. If you're in Los Angeles or you want to drive hours to come do that and be a part of it, please join us. Please, please, please. Tuesday morning, early morning. We want to get there early, like 6 a.m., 6:30. So contact me, email me if you want more info on that. A wedding dress is within the dress code. Exactly. A wedding dress is within the dress codes of the courts. Okay. Yes, Auntie Emma.
How many interactions did either of you have with CPS, any government agency, as children under 18? Curious how often it was actually checked on. I had one experience, but I was already out of Scientology.
Sorry. You never had any CPS check on you while you were in LA?
Mm-mm.
Nothing up until 9, nothing going to Clearwater?
Nope.
Nothing.
The
only time
I know ethics officers came and checked on me in Florida.
Same. I was going to say security or the PR. I know a lot of Scientology PR personnel, like executives, came and checked on the ranch. Like, there's a major PR flap. Apparently, we're getting child services called on us. Mm-hmm. But we didn't know what child services or any of that was. So we just knew the outside world in some way, whether it was the fire department, police department, CP, anything. We didn't know the titles of anything. We just knew out PR, need to fix it, flap.
Yeah.
And so we were dressed to our T, shined our fucking little LA gear, shiny black shoes with the shoe polish, exactly how L. Ron Hubbard's shoe polishing policy told us how to buff a shoe and fucking polish it. Do you not remember all the shoe? You couldn't finish the EPF without doing the uniform course.
Knowing your uniform, knowing how to clean your shoes, knowing how to clean your belt properly.
Yep. But how do you shine that belt buckle? How do you shine that New York belt? There you go.
I'm like, let's be real, Brasso. Brasso's solved everything.
Yep. Barbara says, your dads would be so proud of the woman you are. Both of you are incredibly strong with beautiful souls. That's nice.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you.
That's very nice, Barbara. I have an inner voice that says other things when I read stuff like that, but I will keep that to myself.
DK Canada question. Do many or most ex-Scientology kids now self-medicate to forget or dull the pain as coping mechanism, especially because of alcohol and drugs are not allowed in Scientology? There's lots of alcohol and there's lots of drugs in Scientology.
Yeah. DK Canada, I want to keep that question up here. I want to break this down. First of all, do many or most of the ex-Scientology kids, now adults, self-medicate? So you're already assuming that many of the ex-Scientology kids that are now adults are self-medicating, and they're self-medicating to forget or dull the pain as a coping mechanism, especially because alcohol and drugs were not allowed in Scientology. First of all, alcohol and drugs are very much not allowed in Scientology. If it happens, you can just audit it and fix it in ethics if you do.
And it's like wrong. It never happened.
Exactly. So that's also a wrong concept. Mm-hmm. It's a wrong concept to think that. And then also, do most ex-Scientology kids First of all, anybody X of anything that are using self-medication of anything are doing it to cope with mechanisms. That's the only reason people drink or do any of this shit. Even if you are totally coherent and able to drink a drink or 5 and know like, oh God, why did I drink 5? Like, you're still going, I'm going to drink a whiskey. There are people who drink a whiskey shot or a thing to be like, ooh, this is heavy. Let me take a shot or a drink and then let's talk about this. There's not like horrible reasons to not have a drink or a shot, you know, and there's not anyways, what I'm saying about this is there's a lot of assumptions with this. Many ex-Scientologists don't drink and don't do drugs to cover fucking shit, and also are on standard medications and do go to therapy and have gone through many things. But yes, it's a normal thing that not only Scientologists, but anybody coming out of any abuse would use alcohol or drugs to numb pain as a coping mechanism. Yeah. That is a normal thing. That is a very normal thing. That happens all the time. That happens fucking in any kind of anywhere. So yeah. I just think maybe I'm being insecure myself and like always making sure I'm not drinking or doing too much of anything, like where I'm like out of line. Get in line. But I just feel like, yes, is it a thing that ex-Scientologists could be going to the bars and having a drink and fucking trying to get this shit out? Yes. Duh. Sorry. Yeah, I'm probably being rude at this point, but yes. Yes, and yes. And what the fuck is the judgment? I don't get it. I feel like I'm being judged.
No judgment. Missy Jean? DOA is dangerous because he's letting the rest of us know what's up and it worries them so much.
Truth.
Yeah. He's dropping mic bombs.
I don't think he's dangerous.
I think
he's dangerous in a good way.
In a good way.
To Scientology.
Yes.
Correct.
That needs to be very clear.
Yes.
Because he's such a sweet bear. And I just think that like dangerous and DOA should, if they're going to be in the same thing, should also include dangerous to Scientology.
And I think that's what the person meant.
I know they absolutely meant that. I just want that to be very clear because they must know DOA well enough.
Yep. Tats are cool, but do a majority of ex-Scientologist kids get tats when they're out to be defiant to Scientology, show their individuality, or both? I got him as a screw you.
Yeah, both. I got my only tattoo, my infinity. I got because I still always and will always love the idea of the stars and planets and infinite and I don't know, the whole thing. It was something I wasn't allowed to research at the ranch. It was something I wasn't even allowed to dive in like deeply as a Scientologist to like get too much into science because it just wasn't Scientology. And it was always something that I felt so like, if I didn't need an answer for anything, infinity would be that. Like something that like actually Barbara Tompkins. She's the mother of Sterling Tompkins and Nathan Tompkins and Justin Tompkins, I believe. But anyways, or no, that's Biddy. Anyways, she told me when I was being like a little nosy cadet, like, and I was like, well, to answer my questions, like, what's the what's the OT and why do you have to, and what I said, why are we spirits? Like, how did we start? Like, how did bodies start? And she was like, well, spirits, we created the idea to have physical things. I don't know, whatever she was saying to me at the time. I think I was being out ethics and she was finally getting me in gear or something. And she was explaining and she was like, oh, this is pretty intelligent conversation I'm having with little Miss Megan Anderson here. And I was just like, how why all this life? And I was like, why? Oh, I think I was like, why should I dig the trench? Why should I do this? What is that going to do? Well, that's going to help the ranch look better. Okay. Well, why is that going to, that's going to be better for the world to see that, you're having a great place to live. And she was trying to explain to me the world and why I should be doing the projects and the work I'm doing. I was like, what's that going to do for my life? And then I was saying, you're OT5. She was OT. I knew that she was OT5. So I knew that she had data that I didn't know. So I was kind of trying to squeeze it out of her without asking her. But I was saying, well, why? And I was like, well, then why am I in the series? Well, then who chose me to be in the series? Well, you did. You chose, you chose to be with your family. And I was like, well, then, why did I chose to be in the family? And then it got all the way down to where I was like, well, how did the whole world start? Why did the spirit start? And she said, listen to this. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This has always stuck with me. I don't know why. She said, well, that's where you have, we all decided the idea of start, change, stop. We all agreed everything's an agreement. And I was like, okay. And then I said, so who decided? Oh, I said, who decided that it's start, change, stop? Like, who decided that we start things, change, and a stop? And she said, I don't know. She said, I don't know. She said, maybe there doesn't have to be that agreement. Maybe there was never a start and a change and a stop, and we always were. And to me, that reminded me of infinity, that we just always were, and that humans always have to have this idea that something started somewhere to have to exist. But our minds can't think that it could have just existed forever because we're not programmed that way. Is that crazy or what? I know that's wrong and weird and whatever, but I definitely thought.
I like it.
I like it.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. It felt weird to ask as a child to an OT5 that I knew that was sent to the ranch for whatever reason. And that meant that she was sent to the ranch. Now I know, because she fucked up on some shit and she had to be put at the ranch to handle the kids. They needed an OT to handle the kids. And so, yeah, I felt like she was somebody that I could talk to and ask these weird questions. I was like, oh, you're going to handle me? Well, then I have some questions for you. And I just felt like, even though she was lying to me or whatever the fuck, to me, that made sense. I was like, okay. So there doesn't have to be like, I don't have to create this relationship. I don't have to make this plant survive. It's that I'm choosing to make it survive. And that's why it's living. Right?
I like the choosing more than the have to.
Right. But in Scientology, you think you're choosing. So there's a lot of parts that Scientology I dissect, and they go, oh, do you get that from Scientology? I'm like, no, I had to dissect it to get wherever the fuck L. Ron Hubbard stole it from so that I can get and be like, okay, that makes sense. He stole this from some philosopher somewhere down the road. And then he added a bunch of his nonsense, fucking nasty ass crap, and then whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Nobody ever reported your abuse. So disgusting. Anti-M, yeah. Nobody cared.
I don't know. I felt. There were some people. I keep talking about this. It's gonna come up. Sorry if I'm blowing in the mic. There were German reporters. There were German reporters and people that were trying. We called them SPs. We called them the reporters. We called them the picketers. But they were literally protesters like us that were flying around, that were outside the gates, that were trying to get footage and trying to expose Scientology at the time. And at the time, they were trying to expose the child slavery. They were trying to expose the active cadet org kids, showing kids like working that were being groomed to be executives. And that was us. So thank you to those German fucking reporters and anybody at that time that was doing that. Because look at us. You got a few cadets here that are fucking with you years and years later.
Yes. So Park Bench question. What can we do to save kids now from the abuse that you two have gone through? How can we reach these kids inside? Any good creative ideas? For me personally, don't give up. don't give up, because you think they're not listening. And just like when I was inside, people would tell me all the time, oh, that's a cult, that's a cult. And I never believed it until one day I did. Now, who knows when that one day is going to come for the people inside, but just keep repeating, keep repeating. You know, that's the main thing, is just keep repeating.
And that's what I was going to say. Like the people that are protesting now, the ways that they're all doing it, the ways they're getting better, the ways they're like learning, like, oh, I've heard myself. And back then, maybe that was good because they saw me coming in hard, like, fuck you, I'm here. But now it's like, okay, well, I'm here and you're going to have to deal with me. It's like almost like there's this weird sort of coexistence of like, don't go back in your cult. We're not going back in. Pearl.
No, nobody's going back in.
Knock it off. Yeah, never give up. We're not going in. Nobody's, but I love the new ways that people are coming up with ideas just to do new things that are definitely causing things that are annoying or disturbing or exposing to Scientology. So
yes,
it's really awesome. It's like, there's like, that's why I go to new channels all the time. I'm like, oh, there's a new channel. Let's go support them. And I go back to my, like, I go everywhere. I'm like, oh, I got a little over here. I do. And sometimes I have 3 of my little things, my computer, my 2 phones going. I'm like, yeah. Oh, what's happening over here? Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like that is the whole thing. I feel better. I feel better doing that, supporting people who are there doing what I would want to be doing, because that makes me feel good anyways. Yeah. And that it's happening, and that I just keep going, like, how cool would this fucking have been, Liz, if we had people doing what we're doing, the insane ways. People this year don't know all the arguments and everything going on with the protesters. No. Only Moxon. Only Moxon and Osa knows, you know? Because they have to. But, like, they don't know, but never was there this many protesters and people with so much love and care just being outside their own little states and organizations and their little missions where they see Scientology or they see pamphlets and they're like, this is bullshit. I'm going live. You're pretending to be, you know, a volunteer minister and you're fucking Scientology. Tell them this is what's so important. We never had that. We never had that. Never. And this is the stuff that where people start to get to know, oh, it's manipulative. And it's not just in your neighborhood or your thing. They're doing it to the families and everybody, all the way down to bring your kids in. Your kid was late for roll call. Bring him to ethics. All of a sudden, your kid is going to ethics for, you know what I mean? Running in late with the backpack. We were seeing, as we were protesting, we were seeing kids running in to the Boo building with fucking backpacks, like running in late for their roll call. And that reminded me of the cadet org, like not a backpack. We never had that. Trust you that. We never had anything cute like that.
No, but we were definitely trying to make it to muster on time. Try to make it.
Did not want to be late.
Like, don't be out of line. Like, don't. Nope.
Did you ever go to the free ones? Sorry, that's a random one.
I was supposed to. I was supposed to. I got put on decks.
Me too. Yeah. And I kind of knew it was coming. I was like, they were reading the list of all the cadets that were going to the free ones. And I was like, you know, all the ethical cadets were standing at attention, waiting for their name to be called. And I started slouching like, I'm not being called. Mm-hmm. Like I was just the out at them. Like, I'm just going to stand at ease because I am not being called. I remember that, being a rebel, being like, fuck you. I know I'm not being called, so I'm not going to stand at attention. And I was right. I didn't get called. Along with Christina Webster, Jesse Dunstan, and a few other people. And Susie Flood, because she was too young. She was only 3, or she was like 4. She was like too young to go to the ship.
Jesus.
Yeah, and that's the only...
We all watched each other. That's why when I say we had each other's back, we only had each other. That's why I will always be there for Surge. I'll always be there for you. I'll always be there for the other Surge. You know, I will always show up.
Same. And I love that you can be there for, Serge Oblinsky, and I can't, in ways that I can't be. Like, even he conforms to you more natural, like he is more comfortable, I feel, with you and than he would be maybe with me. Maybe I'm too loud, maybe I don't know, whatever it is, right?
You're the perfect amount of Laura.
Whatever it is, right? So like whatever it is, but I just love knowing that he gets comfort and care and love from people like you and Serge Dalmar doing the artology. Like that gives me nourishment. That makes me feel that I can help even more people than what I'm doing. Like more people that feel that they're completely helpless, that have been fucking tortured through the Sea Org, the EPF, and then being like molested and raped and then being thrown out and told you have a freeloader debt to pay for, and forgetting that everything happened to you as a child that happened. That you're now going like, why am I so
put it in the back of your mind? Because
throw it in the back, suppress, you know, and you're the suppressive. You're the suppressive. It's all a bunch of gaslighting your whole life.
Yep.
Deep, deep, deep.
Yeah.
Anyways, wow. I'm so sorry for making you go this late, Liz. I can't believe you held on this long.
I was a child and I didn't have a choice. I always think about that, about your childhood. We're working on it. We're working on it, Auntie M.
Yeah.
Well, we will do this again. We'll try to be a little earlier next time.
No, we won't. We're just going to continue. We're going to continue. We did a good job. Guys, it was going to be 8:30 and we did 8 o'clock or 8:10, whatever the fuck. And that was because my FaceTime and I was about to go insane and throw my computer at the wall. So you're lucky we did this whole thing.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, I love you. Thank you so much for coming. We will do this again. We will talk more about our childhood.
Fuck yeah.
And we will, you know, rock out to the music of the amazing Laura FM. The way that we always end it is how I start it. And that is with you. All right.
So